for the for the jewel in the crown of Formula One, which is of course the Monte Carlo Grand Prix, which is wow, it's been featuring on the F1 calendar for almost forever, hasn't it? It's been amazing. Of course, the first ever Grand Prix race around here, I think it was 1922. So fairly old, almost 100 years. Monaco's been going for now. That's incredible stuff. As anyway, before we get into anything else, we're just about to get ready to go around the streets of Monaco. Of course, probably if you was looking at the first 6 rounds, this would probably be this one and Baku would be the 2 rounds which you'd probably be really concerned by, wouldn't you? Especially if you're not very good, especially if you're a bit nervous about race. About racing on street circuit, as I just make sure everything is all go and excellent stuff. So then of course Monaco, then there's 19 turns then around here. It's a 2.0 mile circuit. Lap record at the moment is held by Max Verstappen, but in quali we're going to be going a lot faster than that, I have a feeling, because the guys' times around here has been absolutely phenomenal. So we're really looking forward to what the guys can do around here, because they are mightily fast. But before we get into the action on track, let's just take a look at the driver's standing, shall we? At the moment, it's Favre who's leading the championship at the moment, and of course he's I think he was very happy with his move last week, wasn't he? Around the outside of Knowsley in turn 2 was absolutely fantastic, wasn't it? Back in Spain. At the moment, he is leading the championship, but the championship is now, the lead is now dropped down to 15 points. It's getting very close at the top. Granty has now moved up into second and is now the main challenger for far for the moment. Knowsley is first, points behind the championship leader. Then Emerson, of course, made his debut only in Baku and is already up in the 4th position. 2 wins out of 2 for the man. And is he going to be able to get? His first pole position here? Well, that's going to be interesting to see, isn't it? Murphy, who's not here tonight, he's on 41 points, 33 points behind Favre, with Twang also not here at the moment, and unfortunately had a bit of a disappointing result back in Spain, didn't he? And he's dropped down to 6 with Jonathan, another driver who started off well, but last couple of races he's really struggling. He's starting from the back today as well, so it's going to be very tough, isn't it? Silent shifting in 8th position, and Mr. Elite 9th, and Bowden at the moment is making it the top 10. In the constructors, and we have got Red Bull leading the way. Of course, Red Bull probably won the constructors last year, and once again are leading the way, but they're only 13 points in front of Toro Rosso. Racing Point are in 3rd with Mercedes in 4th. It's basically it's we're at night, it's night time. Excellent stuff. So it's all stationary at the top of the constructors, and the top 4 teams haven't really moved, have they? But of course, below that is anyone's game at the moment, isn't it? Haas and Ferrari are on 51 points at the moment, and then we've got Renault moving up into 6 on 43 points, then 33 points for the Williams, 38 points for the Williams, 33 for the McLaren, and Alfa Romeo on 28. The whole of the constructors is separated by 55 points. That is absolutely mega stuff. Jonathan Cox is retired, of course, because he is unfortunately he's got a qualifying ban. And so out of the pits then comes Gorilla now. As you can see then, lovely shade of night around here. Then we've got 17 minutes to go then. As now we're on board then with Gorillas. He's coming up the hill then at the moment, just trying to get his car going. And of course, let's just also make some quick announcements then. And you might notice that we've got a couple of new guys on the left hand side of the graphic tower there. Faxland making his debut tonight. We're really looking forward to seeing how well he does. He's a very experienced driver, isn't he, on the game in terms of practices and things like that. So we're looking to see how Faxland goes. Nigel, for the first time in his ALR career, will not be driving a Red Bull, so he is now driving in the Alfa Romeo full time. We've got Sam making his debut as well in the Mercedes end. So Sam is fitting in for Twang tonight. So what a difficult place to make your debut then. That is going to be Faxland and Sam are going to be really testing the limits at the moment. So they're going to be really testing themselves tonight. And of course, we've also got a returnee, Crazy Hitman, has drove in a couple of races, hasn't he? Crazy Hitman has. So he was driving at the back end of last year, wasn't he? Crazy Hitman. He had 3 starts in his ALR career, and And yeah, and he's hoping to pick up. He's hoping to pick up to where he left off then, as I'm a little behind on the comments. So as I've been trying to get my head around the results and everything like that. We're just watching Broke Gorilla. He's the first man on track at the moment. The track evolution around here can be quite steep, of course, so we're expecting to lose one driver in this first session with Jonathan Cox already out. Then let's just take a look then. So Laggy Racer, who will be joining me in the commentary box momentarily, he might have snuck in actually whilst I've been looking down, but yeah, well, so Laggy Racer will be joining me in the commentary box, and we'll be chatting to him and just seeing what his thoughts have been so far in his ALR career. Of course, he's one of our new drivers this season, isn't he? He's made 3 starts. This will be his 4th start in his career. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he thinks of it all. And of course, Jonathan Cox. Good evening, Sean. I start from the back to good luck to all the drivers. Yeah, Jonathan Cox starting from the back. Is that gonna? That might actually be that might not be a bad thing. I know Joe starting from the back in Monaco is never like ideal, but he might. He might avoid any of the carnage that might happen around here. Grant has just said, hello, I went to do my tyres and all I have is softs. Oh dear, so that's not good for... Oh, and I think that Broke Gorilla's just gone into the back at the moment of when the Williams is out there. I think it was Chaos, who of course made his debut, didn't he, back in Azerbaijan. Silent Shifting has gone fast in mode. Renzo is now up into second in the Racing Point Car 6. We've got a couple of yellow flags out there flying around out there at the moment. Laggy Racer's gone on to third, 13.3, but never mind that, because Emerson's gone into the 10-4s already. Fantastic time. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2, because, oh no, I don't know what's going on there between Chaos Lever and Broke Gorilla, but it's going all wrong out there, isn't it? Chaos Lever's got a 5-place grid penalty. As I'm not really sure what's going on, but it's chaos, isn't it? Chaos Lever. Real issues in that Williams at the moment. I'm not sure what happened there then. Broke Gorilla has retired from the session and just on board as Broke Gorilla has retired from the session. I'm not sure what's happened there. And Chaos Lever is having all sorts of problems out there. I don't really know what's going on. He's now in reverse at the exit of the tunnel. That is not a good place to be parking. And I think that we got a bit of a problem out there at the moment. Just watching Sam at the moment making his debut. So yeah, Grant. So unfortunate for Grant. Nigel, 4-time driver again. New helmet and a new number. So Nigel there looking forward to a new challenge with the Alfa Romeo team. Of course, he is the season 1 champion at the moment. As Chaos Lever has moved away from the tunnel now, so I'm not sure what's happened to Chaos Lever. We're on board then with Sam, who's making his debut tonight. So looking forward to seeing what Sam does in this session. And also we've got McVicious. Now I'm starting at the back. I want to bathe my dog. Oh, Sam, I think, has gone into the barrier there. Yes, he's lost his whole front wing and the Mercedes, so he's going to have to come back into the pits as well. Yeah, McVicious's dog is, I think, rolled in some feces, I think, wasn't it? I think it was fox feces. So yeah, that's why he'll be a little late tonight. And I think Laggy has joined us today. How's it going, Laggy?
Hello. Sorry I was a bit quiet, but I was on my lap.
No, don't worry about that. I was yapping away anyway. Yeah, so this is a good opportunity to just have a chat to you and just really, what's your season been like so far? How happy are you with it?
With the results I got, I'm pretty happy at the moment. Of course, it could have been better at times, but at the moment it's pretty good.
Excellent, and of course, this is one of the most difficult tracks. On the calendar. So, are you looking forward to this challenge, or are you a bit nervous about it?
Bit of both, because you have to keep your concentration, and it's not that easy. Do it 39 laps. That's a long time, so. But it can be fun if you have battles.
You can. Then, so what is your target then for today? Then I think the Q1 is probably. I think you're safe to get out of Q1 because I think we lost Broke Gorilla and Jonathan Cox already. But are you aiming for top 10 in Q3 to get into Q3?
Top 10 will be nice, but I don't think I will make it into Q3. But I will always do the best I can. So we'll see what happens.
Excellent stuff. We'll come back to you in a minute, Laggy. So just watching Gunnar at the moment, who we're on board with now in the McLaren, going through the swimming pool section. And you can see it's opened up a lot more since when they first come here, having a kiss of the barrier there. As Broke Gorilla is, I don't think too impressed with Chaos there. He had an issue with his front wing now, but yeah, it was a bit of an unusual incident. That was. What about Gunnar then? He is now the most experienced driver on the grid with 20. I think he's got 23 race starts under his belt now, so he has been here since almost the beginning. So Gunnar there is definitely much. He's going to need all that experience as well later on. Yellow flag in 2 at the moment, of course. It's going to be very much quite chaotic, and again, Chaos Lever having awful issues at the moment, and really struggling to get around at the moment. And Nosey is, I think the Chaos Lever is actually causing some chaos. He's really living up to his name at the moment, and so it's all going off here in Monaco. As just on board then with Nosey, as he is just, I think he was on a flying lap, so that's really cost him. Not really sure what's going on then. Yellow flag in 2. I think it was Chaos just recovering. Then we've got Granty, who's out on the track at the moment. And yeah, so it's been a very chaotic start to the qualifying session. We've also got Renzo in the box as well at the moment. And so Renzo, how are you doing on this fine, lovely Sunday afternoon?
Doing good. I got last on my last lap, so I'm sitting at 113 at the moment.
Oh, what is your aim for qualifying? Are you aiming for Q3 or because I think the Q2, I think the Q1, I think everyone's going to be through. It's on track at the moment. Just got to set a lap in. But what is your aim? Are you aiming to get into Q3? Have you got the pace?
Yeah, hoping for a Q3 anyways. Top 5, I hope.
And excellent. Excellent stuff. And about this track as well, there's a Chaos Lever has just gone into the barrier there. Oh, and he's lagged out of the barrier. Well, that's some pretty nifty driving there. So as yeah, and in terms of the race, then what's your aim? Are you aiming for points, or are you aiming for higher? Are you aiming for a podium?
I'm gonna say points, because anything can happen in Monaco. Like it could go one way, it could go the other. As Jolien Palmer says, you always got to be alert on the street circuit.
Definitely right. Unfortunately, Jolien wasn't that alert when he crashed when it was raining in 2016 there. But as we're just watching Chaos coming around the final, he's coming into and he's in the pits. So Chaos had a couple of issues there on his first installation laps. We're watching Crazy Hitman, of course. He has been driving in ALR before. This is going to be his 4th race start now. He drove towards the back end of last season, and so he's rejoined the Red Bull team this season. So we're looking forward to see how well Crazy Hitman does, and whether he's improved on his speed. But he was a very quick driver anyway, wasn't he? Yellow flag in sector 1. And open question to both of you drivers then. What is the best overtaking maneuver? Sorry, go Crazy Monster's gone to the wall there. What is the best place to overtake around Monaco? To be honest, I can only think of one realistic opportunity. But where do you guys think?
Start finish, really. The tunnel right before the chicane, if you're quick enough. Yeah, it's start finish. Other than that, you're taking a big risk of either taking him out or taking yourselves out. And, kind of like Max and Lewis this year. It's not a great one for the all overtaking. Well, it's ghosting, so kind of attempt anywhere now, I think.
I think as Sam goes into a 15-1 there, of course he's making his debut. So what a place to make your debut in a league. I bet he's absolutely nervous. As Broke Gorilla has just throw his prediction into the ring already, and has gone for Emerson to take pole position. Emerson hasn't actually got pole position yet. He has won 2 out of 2 races, but he hasn't been on the on that pole yet. And what's your predictions then for qualifying? Name your top 3 of who's going to be in the starting order for the top 3 then. Starting with you, Laggy. Who do you reckon's going to be pole, and who's going to be second and third?
On pole, I think it will be Emerson. Second, maybe Silent, and third, Nosey.
Excellent stuff. And what about you, Renzo? Where do you reckon? How do you reckon they're going to line up? Excellent stuff. So I don't throw my hat into the ring because usually I end up cursing them. So yeah, I'm not doing that. So as we're just watching Farf now, who's coming out of the tunnel and down into the seafront chicane. As this is one of the overtaking spots that both Laggy and Renzo pinpointed earlier. We've got just over 5 minutes to go in this session, and I would say, unfortunately, Jonathan Cox starting from the back of the grid, and of course, Broke Gorilla will also be joining in by the looks. There's unfortunately all sorts of misdemeanors going on earlier on in qualifying. As Farf is coming around the anti-nose and to set his time now. Remember, there's only one DRS zone on this track, and he does 11 at the moment, 11.222. Very accurate there from Farf. So he is in third position, though. Very close, isn't it? Apart from Emerson, who's slightly out in front and knows it at the moment. Apart from that, the rest are very close together, aren't they, at the moment? And obviously, I don't want you to give your strategy to or anything like that. But do you think this is a one-stop race, or do you reckon that it might be two?
Front runners, if you can get into Q3 on the mediums, yeah, definitely one stopper. But if it's a soft, you're looking at a two stopper, and that can benefit the guys in the back who can start on brand new tires compared to whoever gets into Q3, say. But again, safety cars can make all the difference.
You can indeed. And what about you, Laggy? What do you reckon your strategy is going to be around here?
If you start on the softs, a one stop is hard, but you can always go for the one stop. Soft to hard is maybe the best option, and stretch those tires till the end.
Oh, big smash there for Sam. He's gone into the wall quite heavily out Casino Square there. Is he going to get it slowed down? He just about gets it slowed down. Of course, the famous turn where Rosberg's had a problem with his steering wheel, didn't he, and parked his car in qualifying 2014. I'm still not salty about that at all. Anyway, that's like 5 years ago. I need to move on. We're just watching the defending champion at the moment, Nigel, as Knowles is retired from the session. Don't worry, he's he feels that he's safe, and he looks safe, to be honest, as well. And Jonathan Cox has opened up a challenge of his own. He wants everyone to predict where he's going to finish the race. Remember, he's starting, I think, he'll be 16th on the grid. But yeah, where do you guys reckon that Jonathan's going to finish? Bro Gorilla has said he reckons it's going to be 4th. What do you guys reckon? Where's Jonathan going to get from 16th on the grid?
Quite quick, maybe P2.
Oh, and what about you, Laggy?
That's very hard to predict, but I'll say P5.
Excellent stuff. I'm glad I love it how you guys are not on the fence. It's absolutely amazing stuff. Usually when I get people in here, they're always on the fence and just say, let's wait and see. So I'm loving it. As Nigel comes across the line, he does an 11 exactly there. So Nigel 3/10 away from Knowles at the moment, and I think Emerson has really kind of lit up this league, hasn't he, in terms of his pace. Absolutely flying out there. Renzo is now just coming across the line to start us out. Chaos Lever is out there again. Bowden is just starting a lap at the moment. Of course, unfortunately, his usual teammate is not here tonight, but he does have the debutant as Sam with him. So yeah, looking forward to see how Sam does. Grant, he's also retired from the session as well. And as we're just coming through to the end of the Q1 session, as we very the car getting very floaty. And again, I've got another question to both of you guys in terms of what is your favorite part of this track? What series of corners do you really enjoy around here?
For me, I would say the swimming pool section is really nice and flowing to go through, and if you get it right, it's more satisfying.
Yeah, I love the entire... Ah, no!
Are you alright there, Renzo?
Yeah, a second up, and I went wide into the swimming pool and got my lap cancelled.
Oh, unfortunate.
I've just been informed that none of you guys could... Oh, you're in the wall as well, mate. And unfortunately, it looks like you haven't done your mic settings, so I don't think anyone can actually hear you, which is a bit of a shame. But anyway, yeah, it's been great. It's been great to have both of you guys here anyway, and obviously we'll get. I'll have to ask my PA to get a transcript going. So yeah, you can read it on our Facebook page. Love it. You know, a bit of advertising there. Just watching Chaos Lever there again as he's having the troubles really getting around that really getting around the Lowe's hairpin, and really is.
It says always allow. Strange.
That's all right. Don't worry about that. I've got my transcript scribe on the case, so we'll be fine. We'll put that on the website. Anyway, yeah. Thank you guys for joining me in the commentary box. So absolutely brilliant stuff. And whilst now we're getting ready for Q2, that's when the action's really going to start. So yeah, pleasure talking to you guys. And I don't want to disturb you whilst you're getting ready for Q2. So I'll see you guys in a bit then.
Yeah.
See you in a bit. Cheers. As just now watching a couple of yellow flags flying out there at the moment. That's the end of qualifying, and so as now then, as our guests have left us now, as I am just taking a quick look, as I've got a lot of comments going on all of a sudden. Yeah, so McVicious is unfortunately out of qualifying because he's bathing his dog. So McVicious is out of qualifying, as is Jonathan Cox and Broke Gorilla out as well, unfortunately. So we've lost three. Oh, and the Mercedes guys just randomly come out in the pits. Excellent stuff. So Chaos having a bit of troubles at the moment in this Monaco track, but I think you just have to survive really, and I reckon you'll get some points. We've got 17 drivers. It is 17 drivers which are out there at the moment, and really it's going to be absolute chaos, isn't it? And talking to Chaos, here's a Chaos Lever at the moment who's just I think he's finished this up, so we're just waiting for Faxline going into the back of him there, and and that's the end of Q1 then, unfortunately. Sorry, as you can see, I get very distracted. Jonathan Cox said add subtitles. To be honest, I really need to learn to read the comments a bit more, don't I? Anyway, yeah, that's the end of Q1 then. So we've lost McVicious, we've also lost Jonathan, and we've got a 5-place grid penalty for both Broke Gorilla and Chaos Lever for their collision in qualifying. So that is going to move Jonathan up a couple more positions, I think. So Broke Gorilla is going to be right at the back of the field, and I think Chaos will need to well, obviously wherever he qualifies will drop 5 places. So a bit of an anticlimactic Q1 there. But don't worry about that, because it's going to get really feisty in the next 15 minutes then. So this is Q2 then, and yeah, let's just quickly go over what Laggy and Renzo said. Then basically they were just talking about their strategies and things like what they think. So they both predict it's going to be like a one-stop strategy around here. Yeah, they and they both aim to be in the Q3. Laggy didn't seem very confident, did he? But I think though I've sure seen a pink car come out there, so that could only mean one thing. It's one of the Pink Panthers coming out there. Well, now we've got all sorts of cars coming out of the pits now. Then, so it's great to see. Well, I think I must have been seeing something, because it definitely wasn't a pink car. I don't know who it was. I think it was actually Nosey there coming out. So I must have seen the pink helmet. And now here comes Nosey then, we're on board Nosey then in the Toro Rosso. He qualified second earlier. At the moment in the driver's standings, he is at third, isn't he? As Mr. Elite has joined as well. So Mr. Elite there had issues, of course, where it's gained an update, but Mr. Elite is in there now. He's got a tough job as well, hasn't he? He should start 16th, I reckon. Sorry, he should start 17th, I reckon, because of the 5-place grid penalty that Broke Gorilla's got. As I think the Broke Gorilla and Chaos there really caused a bit of issues there, didn't they, in the opening segment of that qualifying session. We're now on board then with Nosey. He's on the medium compound tire. Nosey usually likes to play games, but I don't think he feels like he wants to play games in Monaco, does he? To us, I loved the track at night here in Monaco. Look, the cars look absolutely fabulous out there, fabulous. And I think Sam's having a bit of is really worried, isn't he? Because of course he hasn't got any setup, has he? As McVicious has left the session. That's a bit unfortunate. Hopefully McVicious will be back soon. As now Nosey starts his lap then. And let's join him as we go aboard them. So we're now we're flying up the hill, now coming down. We're dropping down now into Casino Square, and then we've also got a steep decline here as we come into Mirabeau, because that's where Rosberg locked up. We also seen some amazing overtakes around there as well. Now down to the Lowe's hairpin, of course, Adrian Sutil really mastered that hairpin, didn't he, back in 2011, wasn't it? Well, I think it was one of them, or maybe 13. Anyway, yeah, and then now Nosey then into the tunnel, the famous tunnel. Of course, one of my first memories was watching the old Benettons, the old Williams flying through there. Now into the C-French chicane. Mr. Elite has left the session, so I'm hoping Mr. Elite comes back soon. And now then is when isn't it? Of course, all the last part of the lap has really opened up, and 2003 was the track modification, which really added to the speed of the circuit as well. But Nosey comes across the line on the medium compound tire, and he's the fastest. He's done a 10.8 there, so that's a very good time there for Nosey, isn't it? He's just a tenth of a second off his best time in Q1. Good stuff there from Nosey. And who's next? So Renzo out there at the moment. We've also got Chaos Lever, Silent Shifting out there as well. Silent Shifting there, of course, won his return race, didn't he? And Farf has gone off there. I think he was just trying to get out of the way of Silent Shifting. Silent Shifting coming around the final corner now. We've got a car in front of him who is Renzo, who goes into second fastest. Silent Shifting does an 11.6, because remember, he won in China. Silent Shifting, fabulous performance there. And Vincent done a 29.6 there. Laggy Racer is done a 12.7 on the soft compound tires. He's really, I think he's trying to rattle people's cages, isn't he, by going on the soft compound here. He really, I think he's just trying to get a couple of people disturbed, isn't he? Here comes Chaos Lever coming around the final corner then. And what's he doing then? He accelerates across the line. And what does he do? He does a 19 at the moment there for Chaos Lever. There's a car behind who's just about to start. I think it's Sam then, who's been asked for setups in the... I think Chaos has gone into the barrier there. And he gets out of the way nicely. And so Sam there is, of course, making his debut tonight. I think this is we're hoping he does all right. And look at that, the back end is really stepping out there. So you can see that he was, to be honest, to be fair to him, we asked him if he wanted to race at about 3-4 o'clock today. So he only had 2 hours to prepare, and that is no time at all to prepare, is it? In league racing. But now coming down into Portier here, and you can see then a lovely shot there. Of course, there's a lot of development around there, isn't there, these days? So of course, so we might not be in the future coming years. You can see there's a lot of development also just coming out of the tunnel as well. Emerson goes fastest, and Sam has gone into the wall there as he's just trying to reverse, just trying to get himself back going, and that's unfortunate for Sam. It was a good lap up until that point. And you see he's damaged his end plate there. That's going to cause understeer, and he's in the wall. Of course, it's a back. We've had a lot of awful crashes around there, haven't we? Of course, David Coulthard went on the back. No, I think Fisichella went on the back of Coulthard one year in 2004, I think it was. And so unfortunately for Sam, he's going to have to come back into the pits at the moment, as we are looking to lose 4 cars in this qualifying session. So who's going to be knocked out? Farf is back on that lap at the moment. Just taking a look up and down the grid at the moment. Gunnar is back into the pits as well. So he was just trying out the soft compound tires to come back in here. It's crazy. What about Renzo? Is Renzo on a lap at the moment? Well, he's on a lap, but I think it's a bit more leisurely. In the background there was the man who is on who's top of the timesheets once again. Only just so. It's only 200th of a second between himself and Nosey. So they are an absolute epic fight, didn't they, in Baku? So we're going to have another epic fight, but this time around the streets of Monaco. Faxland, of course, another man making his debut, car 31. He's borrowed Ocon's number, hasn't he, for this season? Or is it his number? He's on the medium compound tire. Faxland is he's a very much a good. He's welcome to ALR Faxland, and what a tough race to start on. Went a bit wide there in Mirabeau. Now coming into the Lowe's Hairpin. I'm not even sure if that hotel. I don't think it's called Lowe's anymore, is it? Because I think that's the reason why it is called the Lowe's Hairpin, because of the hotel. But I don't think that it's... and he's hit the inside wall at Portier. But wow, howd, sir. As a Faxad now comes through the tunnel. Then lovely onboard shot here. As now he comes down into the C-French chicane. This is where Sam had a bit of an issue earlier on. Nigel is just behind him as well. Nigel's rolling the dice here, and he's on the hard compound tyre. So that is a more durable tyre. 8 minutes to go. These guys haven't got long to get themselves sorted. There's only one man who's got on the softs at the moment. Crazy Hitman's on the softs as well. So so it's Chaos Lever and and Laggy Racer is also on the soft tires as well. But we're on board then. Faxan coming across the line, and he goes into 4th at the moment. So good stuff there from Faxan, and that is even a mistake as well. Nigel goes onto a 12.9 on the hard compound tire, and he might not be feeling too safe there. Bowden is going 7th in the Mercedes on a 13.3 at the moment. This track, a lot of this track is about. A lot of this track is about confidence and stuff, isn't it? Oh, Farf there. Did he cut the chicane now? Well, he's still powering on. Of course, Farf is leading the championship at the moment by 15 points from Granty. And but you know, I think Farf does. I must admit, I think he had a race here the other day, didn't he? Where it's a strange one. Oh, no! I think we've lost. I think we're on board, but I think we've lost Crazy Hitman. On board is in sector 3, as we're on board with Bowden now. I'm just trying to look to see where he's gone. Oh, he's gone into Anthony Nodes there. We've just seen an onboard shot as Chaos Lever is back out there again. But yeah, that's a big blow for that's a big blow for Crazy Hitman, of course, making his return. Of course, so Crazy Hitman is like silent shifting to another man making his return to the series. Gunnar is now starting as that now. He is on the soft compound tyre as well in the McLaren. His teammate is hopefully be back in the session fairly soon. And because, of course, as we counted down before the race begins, as we're on board with Gunnar then, he's coming down into Mirabeau. And as I'm just having a quick, let me just share the old stream, shall we? Because I think because of the new drivers out there, we'd like to... we just share the stream for the new drivers out there who wants to who wants to hear me natter on about how old I am. So at the moment in the top 10 looks like this: Emerson, Knowlesy, Farf, Silent Shifting, Faxland, great debut for Faxland, Laggy Racer, Nigel, Bowden, Renzo, and Chaos Lever in the top 10. Among Granty's in the pits, so is Sam in the pits as well. So we got Gunnar out there on track now trying to get himself into the mix of the top 10. Crazy Hitman has unfortunately damaged his car, so he will be 14th, around 14th place on the grid. Maybe he might even get promoted because of Chaos's. Oh, and Gunnar got up into 6th there, so I think that's definitely put the pressure on Nigel, isn't it? I wonder if Nigel might have to think about coming back out. I don't think he's got enough of a window there, has he? I don't think he has got enough of a window. There we go, yellow flag in 1. Just take a look to see where it is. Gunnar is now up into 6th position. That's a great time from Gunnar. Fantastic. Renzo's Fortes was second down, so I think he's about to abandon his lap. Chaos Lever has lost a bit of his end plate there. Of course, it's very difficult, isn't it? It's very difficult in qualifying, isn't it? Where you're pushing your car to the absolute limit. And oh, I thought he was going wide in the swimming pool there. He did go wide, and the Chaos Lever now coming now into, oh, look at how much lock he has on that car, and he's back in the pits at the moment, Chaos is. So on a couple of issues at the moment, Chaos, and he's just dropped out of the top 10 at the moment. Of course, that illustrious top 10 is where everyone wants to be at the moment. Here's back with Sam, and Sam is now coming into the tunnel now in the Mercedes. Of course, Mercedes last season had the most drivers. I think they had about 10 drivers in total. In that merry-go-round, of course, before they settled on 2 permanent drivers. Of course, it was Asdog and Grillsy, wasn't it, who made that Mercedes, made the full-time seats and really got Mercedes propelled back up to 4th in the constructors. That's where Mercedes are at the moment. They got a very strong team this year with Twang and Bowden. 2 drivers that work very well together. Of course, Team Norway Racing, isn't it, basically, that Mercedes are this season. Unfortunately, Twine is not with us at the moment, but hopefully he will contribute in the. He'll contribute very soon. And now then, he's cutting. Now we're on board with Sam as he's coming up the hill. Then, and so this is his fast lap. Now he's on the soft tires at the moment. We've got a couple of drivers who have put themselves into contention on the soft tires. So at the moment, Nigel, how is he going to feel? He's going to be a bit nervous out there. Renzo is doing 3 laps on those medium tires, so he's really trying to get himself amped up here. So Sam going around the lows hairpin at the moment. Granty out there as well. So of course Granty is now 2nd in the championship. Had an absolute epic battle between himself and Murphy, didn't he, a week ago in Spain? Absolutely brilliant stuff. And I tell you what, that attempted overtake down into turn 1 at the later stage of the race was brilliant, wasn't it? He went onto the grass, didn't he? He was determined to go on the inside there. Oh, and Sam is just hit the inside there, and you can see he's damaged his end plate there, and he's now going into the back. He did a very good job there to keep out the wall into back there with that understeer and that wing gone. Now coming into the second part of the swimming pool, now accelerating away, and now coming into Raskas. Here he is, and now getting an awful lot of lock on, and he's made a late decision to come in the pits there, by Garanti. Garanti in the second part of the swimming pool now as well, as he's coming around the Raskas at the moment. What's he doing? Oh, I'm to correct him midway through there. He's on the soft compound tire. He is not. I don't think he's really challenging at the moment, is he, Garanti? He is. I think he's just trying to get a banker in it. Oh, that's why, because he's. I think he must have invalidated his time. Yellow flag out there. I think it's one of the Williamses. It is one of the Williamses. Sam is back in the pits at the moment. At the moment, in the drop zone with just over 2 minutes to go. Got a yellow flag again in sector 2. Just taking a look to see who it is. Is it Renzo? Renzo is ran out of fuel, so he's going to. It's a very short lap, so he can. So he's got. Well, I say he's got plenty of time. He's only got 2 minutes to go, and now then, so Garanti now is having a real good go here at the moment. So the people on the cusp at the moment is Bowden. So Bowden's going to have to go there. Is Nigel going to have to scrap his hard compound and go for the medium compound? He should be alright if he goes on the medium. Chaos Lever is back out there as well on the Williams. We got Sam, who's just getting himself sorted. He'll be back out there. So Bowden, Nigel, Renzo, probably all those guys might be feeling a bit nervous at the moment then as we come into the final stages of the qualifying. As Garanti now, touching the wall there. That's when Max Verstappen crashed 2 years in a row, I think, 16 and 17, wasn't it? Oh, and look at that! That was an amazing bit of car control there, but unfortunately that was not the quickest way around at Raskas. As you can see now, pedaling it towards the line, and this is still a very good time. That's still fourth position there from Rancho, and that's on the soft compound tyres, so I think he's laid out his stall there, hasn't he? Got a yellow flag in one, and so I think it's Bowden who's now just coming out. Nigel's out there as well. We've got Chaos Lever who is out there at the moment, who's trying to set a time at the moment. We've got Sam out there, so this is going to get very, very tasty indeed, isn't it, as we go into the final stages of this Monaco Grand Prix qualifying. Yellow flag in free. I usually when someone is yellow flag in free, look at that. Chaos's Lever's rear end is really floaty, isn't it? As he now comes up to the final turn, and then Anthony knows and accelerating away now. DRS is enabled. It is now. And what does he do? What does he do? He improves his time by 0.8 of seconds. Oh, he's in the wall. He's in the wall. That's going to be a big smash. It is a big smash, and Chaos is out of qualifying. And he would get moved back 5 places on the grid. The question is, though, is that going to cause anyone any issues? Well, Nigel's about to start his lap now, but there you see those yellow flags, and look at that car right in the middle. But well, good job Ghosting's on, isn't it? There's Nigel there now, is accelerating away. Sam is out there as well. So that was a big. Oh, and Nigel's damaged his car. He's damaged his wing. And remember, this is the first time that and I wonder if the understeer from Renzo's car really caused him that. So Nigel might just be able to sneak through, because Bowden didn't get across the start finish line time and it's out of qualifying. What does Sam do? Nigel might have just about made it through. Renzo might have made it through as well. Unlucky. Good stuff. And Gunnar in the top 10. Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. So so the question is now, is Sam going to be able to get through? Nosey has just gone onto the soft compound tyre and a set of 10.4. And that's really an interesting tactic, isn't it? From Nosey. We'll go through the tyre strategies in just a few moments. And now then, as you can see, then we've got he's getting very close there, and so Chaos Lever is currently 12th. He would take 5 place grid penalty for the incident he had with Todd earlier on. Now we're coming now into the final couple of corners and accelerating away now up until Anthony knows, and DRS is available now, straight on the mark there. Sam knows exactly where that line is, and what's he going to do? Is he going to improve? He goes up to 12th there, so 12th position now on his debut. And Gunnar is absolutely loving the fact he's in Q3. Amazing stuff. And Sam there, good qualifying session to really towards the end there. It was all or nothing, and he did a cracking job. So the guys we lost in Q2, was Crazy Hitman had a big old smash, didn't he? As did Chaos Lever. That was an awful crash, wasn't it, into turn 1? And Sam out of qualifying, and Bowden missing out as well. And Nigel, I think, has just gone. Phew. So Nigel just about getting in, and on the hard compound tyre as well. Look at these tyre strategies here. Renzo on the medium, soft for Laggy and Gunnar making it into Q3. Fantastic stuff. Faxland on the medium on his debut. Silent shifting on the medium as well. Granty on the soft. Farf and Everton on the medium, and soft for Nosey. And that's really That's really interesting. As I think for the first time this season, both Mercedes have been knocked out of qualifying. So that just shows how strong their team has been this season. So now here we go. Then we're now going into Q3. This is where it gets really fast. As I'm just quickly, I'm gonna look to see what's going on in the world, and so then we're now in Q3. Then so this is gonna be very tense, can't it? And now accelerating out the pits. Then Renzo is the first man out of the pits. No, he's not, because we've already got a race out the pits. And guess who's out first? It's Nosey, who's taking command on the track now, isn't he? Nosey at the moment. Nosey's qualifying battle is at 4-1 against himself and XL. So yeah, XL not here. So Nosey's out qualifies his teammate 4-1 at the moment, but he does let the Williams go by. Silent Shifting. So Silent Shifting now leads the way. And of course, Gunnar also is out qualified his teammate 4-0 as well at the moment. So well done to Gunnar, doing a good job in that McLaren this year, isn't he? Of course, he really showed his talent last season, didn't he? Absolutely fantastic stuff. And now we're just on the out laps at the moment. So this is just the calm before the storm. This is so yeah, get yourself strapped in, everyone, because this is going to be fantastic. As I'm just getting myself ready to go here, and yeah, make sure my throat's clear. So yeah, so we're about to get moving then in this highly anticipated race. As I thought I seen him go in the wall there. No, that wouldn't have been very good, would it? Anyway, here we go then. So silence is now. Is there no sound? Hang on a minute. Okay, I don't think there's any sound on the stream for some reason. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Excellent stuff. So, yeah, we got no sound, which is a bit annoying. So, unfortunately, what makes it worse is now that you're going to have to listen to my voice only without even listening to the card. So, yeah, Jonathan just pointed out whether there was no sound on the stream, which, to be honest, I didn't even notice. So, yeah, that's a bit of a shame here. Let's see what's going on then. I haven't turned my sound on, have I? Like, you know, the guy I am. Oh, well. Oh, and I think Silent just touched the barrier there in the tunnel. Accelerated away nicely now. Coming out of it. Beautifully done there from Silent Shift. Now coming up into the back now. Here he goes. Oh, look at that. Down to 4th gear, now up to 5th. So, look at this. He's full throttle through the first part of the swimming pool. Now into the second part of the swimming pool as he's coming around then the final couple of corners now. Here we go. Where's he going to put his car? We've only got we've only got one team in the top 10, haven't we? One full team, and that's the Renault team. Well done to Renault. 11.2 there for Silent Shifting, and whoa, that was a bit of wingness come off there. Renzo coming across the line, and of course Renzo DRS enabled straight on the money. And what does he do? And he comes across the line, does an 11 at the moment, but I think that Emerson goes fastest on a 10.4. Really incredible stuff. Of course, he's 80th in the world on Xbox. Oh, I said Xbox. That's a bad word, isn't it? Laggy goes 4th for the moment on a 12.3 for Laggy. Granty's out there at the moment. Nigel's out there. We got a yellow flag in 1. As I think it's just someone who's just getting out of people's way. Then Granty, they're coming through the final corner. What does Granty do then? He's aiming for a 10.4. It's not going to get that, but he will be on a 10.9. And look how close is that. 900ths of a second between Granty and 4th. So once again, the two championship rivals are really nose to tail. Brilliant stuff. Laggy is in 6th position. Faxan's out the pit. What about Nigel? Nigel is on the hard compound tyre. His debut race goes into 2nd. Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic from Nigel. 2 tenths of a second. And he's on the hard compound tyre as well. So this is really putting the cat amongst the pigeons. As we now got 3 drivers who happen. So Nosey is just getting himself warmed up and ready to go. We're on board with him now. He's accelerating across the line then. So let's see what Nosey does. We've got 7.5 minutes to go. He's coming down through now into Sandevot. And now he's powering up the hill then. And now he's powering up the hill then. So you can see then, look at this then. Look at how steep these hills are around Monaco. And unfortunately, Chelsea drew. I think Nosey is a Chelsea fan, isn't he? So yeah, I just we all love a bit of football banter, don't we? And Nosey coming into the Lowe's hairpin at the moment. They need different steering columns for this Monaco circuit alone because of how tight the corners are. To be honest, I think it would be better to have a London taxi around here rather than an F1 car, because the F1 cars around the turning circle of F1 cars is absolutely pathetic, isn't it? Anyway, now you can see it there because I'm not designed to go so slow. Look at that, how close was Nosey to the barrier there. You got to just kind of pretend the barrier's out there. You got to just like thread an avenue through here, and now into the swimming pool, out of it nicely. Look at that. That was an amazing amount of speed he took through there, Nosey. This is looking very dangerous as well for Emerson, isn't it? Faxland is on the lap as well. Gunnar is out in Q3. Absolutely fantastic stuff from Gunnar. But what is Nosey? He's pole position in the Monaco Grand Prix. That was an amazing lap. You've seen how much speed he was using in the swimming pool alone. Fantastic from Nosey, and he is on pole position. That's a big, mighty gap as well, isn't it? Nosey might once again that he's going for his second pole position of his career. Emerson hasn't had a pole position yet. He's had 2 wins, but he hasn't got pole yet. And now then is he? I know coming through the swimming pool now, and now accelerating away. And what does he do? Oh, Faxland goes into 4th position. He's in front of Granty. That's a good time there from Faxland. And now, so that's a very good time for Faxland as well. He's showing some pace out there, isn't he? The debutant. Excuse me. I was struggling on that lap because I had a tickle in my throat. Anyway, Gunnar now is now coming up the hill, then flying up the hill, and now he is dropping down the hill, and he is coming into. Oh, look at that! He's got a lot of traffic. Gunnar has on this lap, and that is 2 cars in front of him. I think it's both the Renault cars, isn't it? Faxland 4th and Granty in 5th at the moment. And this is not a good place. It's not a good place. Remember. They're going to get out of the way then for Gunnar at the moment while they're still going on at the moment. So Gunnar is not really going to be a very decent lap at the moment. In Faxland gets out of the way. Nicely done there. Oh, but Gunnar did cut the corner there. Or did he cut the corner? Not sure about that. As now he's into the back then. And accelerates now into the swimming pool section. Here he comes now. Second part of the swimming pool. Remember how much Nosey took for that. I was flying from Nosey. And Gunnar is not far off as well. Oh, he's touched the corner. McVicious is joined out. This is going to be an absolutely epic. He's coming to the pits. Gunnar has. So not happy with that lap at all, is he? Faxland then is got a yellow flag in 3 at the moment. Granty has now started his lap and is now powering up the hill then. And I tell you what, that's a great time for Faxland. He's really showing some good speed on his debut here. I think he's definitely really showing some speed, isn't he? Faxland is, and Renault are looking like they got a very strong team, aren't they? Because remember, the only full team in qualifying, which is immense, isn't it? Look how pathetic it is around the Lowe's hairpin. These F1 cars are not great around there at all. But Grant here is doing an amazing job to wrestle this car through the streets of Monaco. He's 5th at the moment. Of course, he's at 15 points off the championship lead of Favre. But I think that there's going to be another man joining him in the championship hunt, isn't it? Well, Nosey's already there or thereabouts, isn't he? But I think Emerson will definitely becoming a contender quite quickly. Remember, he only made his debut back in Baku. And since then, he's really turned this championship on his head, hasn't he? He's really become a threat quite quickly. Remember, in the beginning of the season, Favre had 2 wins, didn't he? Then it was silent shifting, and then since then, as Granty comes back into the pit, but since then, it's been the wins have been we've all been going to Emerson at the moment. Absolutely flying at the moment. Emerson is really good as well. So and Laggy's gone into the barrier. Is he going to abandon the lap? I think he is. So he's coming into the pits now. That's unfortunate. So we got silent shifting. Of course, we got a win in China, didn't he, on his return, and also we got Farf out there as well. And now then, Farfen is just starting getting himself warmed up. Then we're on board. Then is Farfen. Look at this, and he's really going for it, isn't he? On on his outlap here. Well, it looks like, well, it says it's that. Oh, and he touched the inside of Raskas there, and now coming through into well, sorry, I leaned on the controller there, and now he's going to start his lap now then. So here we go then. Farfare really flying out there. There's Renzo out there. There's also Gunnar out as well. We've got 2.5 minutes to go, powering up the hill then. So what is Farf can do? What can the championship leader do at the moment? He is on a 10.9, very close between himself and Granty. So he is on the third row of the grid at the moment. Farf is usually starts a lot further back than that, don't he? And he seems to be really, he's an expert coming through the field. 500 of a second up at the moment. Farf is at the moment. Now what's he doing then? Coming into the Lowe's hairpin there. Look at the turning. How that is incredible, because the tightest and slowest turn on the Formula 1 calendar, if I'm not very much mistaken. Now into Portier, accelerating around nicely, coming into the tunnel then. And now he's flying through the tunnel. There's a McLaren in the background. Got a yellow flag in one. Just taking a look to see who that is. I hope it was no one on the quick lap. I hope it was just someone trying to get out of the way then. Now coming up to the back then. These series of corners are absolutely fantastic. Just as lagging Renzo said. And silent shifting's out of qualifying. And that's a big blow then for the Chinese winner. And just taking a look to see where it is. It's I'm not sure where it is. It's down in Mirabeau. It is down in Mirabeau. He's gone off at the Rosberg turn, and Farf goes up at the third position. That is a mighty time towards the end, 3/10 of a second up. Has he got tight? Is he going to go for it again? Is he just going to carry on the momentum? Farf is now up into third position at the moment. Granty's on an lap. Renzo is starting a lap. Gunnar is starting a lap as well. So we're going to follow Gunnar then. This is it then. These are the last gasps effort. I think Farf might be able to have one more run. But the question is he going to be able to with the tyres at the moment? Gunnar, and this is Gunnar's first attempt then. Of course, that famous green and white helmet now becoming very much a signature, isn't it? As a yellow flag in two at the moment. That's why there's a bit of end plate there, and I think it was Farf which is in front. It is Farf. So I think that's it for Farf. So at the moment he's going to be third. That's the best place he can expect now in qualifying. Board them. Gunnar then coming out of the tunnel now, and dropping down into the seafront chicane. And here we go. Then look at that, beautifully done there from Gunnar, accelerating away nicely, isn't he? And of course he's now coming into the back. Nosey is retired from the qualifying as well. So at the moment that is the pole sitter. That is the pole sitter at the moment, who is not going to be able to get another time in. He's only man in ninth at the moment now. Nosey ain't going to be able to defend himself at the moment. The track is... and Gunnar's in the wall. But what about Renzo? He's going to get in the way of Renzo. I wonder if he did get in the way of Renzo. Unfortunately, that's the nature of this track. But Renzo comes across the line. I think that is... you can see then he lost 8/10 for a second there. So Renzo would be able to start a time again if he wants to. Gunnar has put a time in as well. Granty is out there. Faxland is out there. Nigel's out there. What about Emerson? He, at the moment then, has he done enough at the moment? Can he get his first pole position in ALR? At the moment, of course, 2 wins out of 2 for Emerson. What about pole position? So far he's been on the front row, but he's never been on pole position. And he's done it. No, not quite, but he gained 6/10 of a second. How close was that? That is 200 of a second. Granty goes in the third. Granty is up into third position and in the Renault. Fantastic end now. So the championship rivals are sharing the front row at the moment. There's Faxan at the moment. Renzo, I don't think is going to be able to set time. What about Nigel? Nigel's on the higher compound tire, but is he going to be able to get into pole? He's after third. Nigel's back up into third position. Fantastic. What about Faxon then? Accelerating away. Look at that, slowing across the Anthony Nogues then. Is he gonna get into it? He stays 6th in the end, but a great debut for Faxland. Fantastic stuff. And there's your grid, ladies and gentlemen, as Renzo is. Look at that, Renzo's on a great second lap here. Can he get in front of Silent Shifting? Silent Shifting is, where did he go? I think he was still 8th, wasn't he? Yes, he was. Wow, what an end to qualifying there, everyone. Brilliant. And yeah, very much. Wow, what an end to qualifying. Let's just take a look at the gap. 21 hundredths of a second. Once again, Emerson has been denied from pole position, but Nosey getting his second pole position of his career. Fantastic from Nosey. Brilliant stuff. And he's going to be absolutely elated. I can just imagine him now. So Nosey, can he convert that into a win? Because at the moment he hasn't got a win to his name in ALR. But that is a credible tight front row. Nigel is in third position. Granty 4th. Far from Faxon 5th and 6th. Silent Shifting and Renzo 7th and 8th. Flaggy and Gunnar 9th and 10th. So this is the calm before the storm. No, to be honest, I was. Let me see if I got. Look at that. How many drivers have we got here? So there's a couple. We remember we've got 2 grid penalties for Broke and Chaos for the chaos they caused at the beginning of Q1. So yeah, we'll take a look at the grid. We'll take a look at the grid in a minute. And so we've got this race has got the ingredients for an absolute epic. We got Jonathan Cox who'll be coming through the back of the grid. We've got the season 1 champion and Nigel right in the thick of it. This is his best performance since returning this season. Absolutely amazing stuff. This is his first outing for Alfa Romeo. The first time he's not drove a Red Bull car. We have got Emerson and Nosey. How close were they in qualifying? Absolutely fantastic. What they're going to do in the race is the question. And of course, then also we've got Granty and Farf also within close range as well of each other. Right, let's go through the grid then, shall we? Of this Monaco Grand Prix. Look at the tyre strategies. There's all sorts of colours on there. Nosey is on pole position then. He is on the soft compound tyre. So he's going to have, we expect him to have a decent launch then. Second position is Emerson on the medium compound tyre. Then we got Nigel, who's on the hard compound tyre. All 3 compound tyres are being represented in the first 3 positions here, as you can see then in this lovely nighttime view of Monaco. Granty is on the soft compound tyres as well, so he's hoping to get a good get a good start there. 5th position is Farf, the championship leader. He's usually further back than that, isn't he? As he was in Spain, so he's right up there already. 6th position is Faxan, of course, making his debut in silent shifting. I think he's gone to the back of someone, and he is 7th at the moment. 8th position is Renzo. 9th position is Laggy. And all them was on the medium tyres. Laggy's on the soft. Gunnar in 10th position. A brilliant qualifier for him, right in the thick of it. Mercedes on row 6 on the medium compound tyres. That's Bowden and Sam. That's Bowden and Sam, 11th and 12th. Really, how nervous is Sam going to be on his debut? Crazy Hitman making a return on the medium compound tyre in the Red Bull with 13th position. Jonathan Cox then is up into 14th. Remember, he had a qualifying ban, but he's on the hard compound tyre and expecting he did give us an open challenge in qualifying, didn't he? He's feeling very good in the racing point, but he's in 14th at the moment. McVicious is in 15th. He didn't take qualifying because he was back for his dog after his dog's having too much fun in the on his walk. Chaos Lever is in 16th position because of his 5th place grid penalty, as is Broke Gorilla, who is 17th. Both of them two come to blows. Unfortunately, they're starting together, so we might see more of that. And Mr. Elite, who is actually in the Ferrari, so he's usually in the Alfa Romeo, but today he's decided to go all red, so he's been promoted then to the top team. Here we go then, as we are now getting ready for the 5 sets of lights to come on when they go out. We'll be racing in Monaco, one of the most famous races in the world. 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's go! And here we go then. So this is where the chaos begins then. And so we've got 39 laps around here. And we've already got a couple of positions ready. Nosey leads. 2nd is Emerson. 3rd is Nigel. Look at the gaggle of cars there. And that's absolutely epic. We've got a yellow flag and win already. Who is it? We got all sorts going on. Jonathan Cox in Hitman. He's going side by side. And Jonathan's dropped down to 16th position. And Broke is up into... and Jonathan has gone in sideways there. They've all made contact there. And now Jonathan down in 16th position then. As now Nosey leads 2nd position. Farf is up in the 3rd. Good start from Farf. Nigel down to 4th. Granty 5th. 6th is Faxland. 7th is Silent. 8th is it's got Yo flying too, because that's a Williams that's completely lost his front wing. Renzo 9th. Bowden 10th. Gunnar down to 11th. 12th position is Sam. 13th is McVicious. Broke is 14th. 15th is Crazy. 16th is Jonathan. 17th is Mr. Elite. And 18th is Chaos. He's damaged his front wing, unfortunately, as we're coming through to complete lap 1 then. So Farf has made up 2 positions and 3 positions for Broke Gorilla. Broke Gorilla's becoming a demon star, isn't he? He's absolutely flying through the field. Yo flagging 2 is Chaos. It's out, and we've had contact as well. Crazy Hitman, I think, and Mr. Elite have come together in the Steve French chicane. As McFisher has left the session there, so that's a bit of a shame. We've got a safety car then in the opening stages, and I think that might help some of them. Jonathan Cox might be one of them, and Hitman might be another as well. So we're coming through to complete that one. Absolute chaos going. Chaos has left the session. Hitman is out as well. Crazy Hitman, not a very good return, unfortunately. As McFisher's unfortunately can't join, and that's why he's left, which is a bit of a shame. So we've got loads of guys in the pits. Sam's in the pits. He's going to the medium compound tyre. Let me just quickly take a look at the tyres. He's gone the hard, sorry. Faxland's in the pits as well. Faxland is in the pits. That's a big blow for Faxland. as he had a great qualifying. Jonathan's in the pits as well, of course. He's being held as well, so he's right at the back. So, but this safety car might have had some. Broke Gorilla is medium for Faxland, soft for Mr. Elite. And Jonathan is on the medium tyres as well. McVicious has joined. Hopefully he can take control. And because both McLarens are 9th and 10th at the moment. Crazy Hitman has left the session as well. So we've lost 2 cars already in this Monaco Grand Prix. So safety car is out. Absolute chaos in the opening lap here of Monaco then. So wow, the safety car is usually almost guaranteed around here, isn't it? And well, we didn't even make it till lap 1. Hopefully McVicious is back in this race in a second. So then, as Nosey leads the pack, then car 94, Nosey is only third in the championship, isn't he? Nosey is, and Dave can't race. That's a big blow for Dave. That really is. Hopefully, he might be able to let him take control in just a minute. As McVicious is dropping down the order, because I think he's ghosting in and out. There's a red X on there, isn't it? At the moment. Granty is down to 11th position, so Granty must have had issues as well, which is a big blow then for Granty, isn't it? As I'm not sure what happened there, because there's chaos at the back of the field. So both Renaults looks like. Hope they didn't come to blow there. The Renault's drivers, because it's the first time that they're driving together, isn't it? As coming through the complete lap 2 now. We got Sam, of course, just joining to the pack now. Broke Faxland as. Then Mr. Elite, of course, and Jonathan Cox right at the back then. But whoa, and you can see here we go then. So wow, an absolutely chaotic start in the opening laps of Monaco. But did you expect anything less? No, I certainly didn't. Anyway. One Emerson is going for 3 wins at the moment. Nosey is going for his first victory. Farf is also going for 3 victories as well. Sam is in trouble. Sam is in big trouble. There's a severe collision with Granty, and I'm hoping that Granty damaged his car. I think he has, you know. I think he has. And Sam has damaged his car as well behind the safety car, and now, yeah, Granty boy might have to come in the pits because that is an end plate gone. It is an end plate gone on the Renault, and oh dear, that is not good at all. Then, and I think Dave's in the. I think Dave is in the back of the McLaren, isn't he? Because that McLaren looks solid to me now. And now then, so is the moment. Granty has lost an end plate. He's going to have to come back in the pits. Also, Sam is going to have to come back in the pits as well. And safety car is in this lap then. That is not good news at all for Granty, is it? But now Nosey, it's that lovely shot there. That's a beautiful shot there. Absolutely cracking stuff now. When's Nosey going to go then? Of course, safety car is in the end. There's that Granty and Sam have damaged their car, so they're going to have to come back in the pit. Severe collision. Well, oh my gosh, there's all sorts going on in the back there. And oh dear, it's all going off at the back there. Severe collision with Laggy Racer into silent shifting, I think. I hope no one's damaged their cars. We'll have a look in a minute, but the race is back on there. So, we got a severe collision now. Jonathan Cox has got his. Oh, it's all going off at the back there. And the yellow flag in 2 and 3 then at the moment. Then so Nosey leads. Second is Emerson. He's all over the back of Nosey. He's trying to go up the hill. No, they're going to go side by side. This is going to be. Oh my gosh! I thought there was a bit of lag there, and almost into the. And there's all sorts going on in the back. Jonathan is back in the pits. Broke's in the pits, and so is Granty. It's all going off at the back. I don't remember, this is a race of attrition now. And look at this. Oh, what was that? Was that Nagy there? His 6th position, Rento, Bowden, and then we got both McLarens at 9th and 10th. Good stuff from Dave. Faxland 11th, Mr. Elite is 12th. Then we've got all the guys that have come back into the pits and back out. It's an absolute nightmare out there at the moment, and I think that's exactly what Sam says as well. And Broke is out of the race. And he's gone straight off in turn 1, and that's a massive incident for Broke, and that's a big shame for Broke as well. As he's lost 3 cars in 4 laps already in this chaotic race. And Broke has left the session, unfortunately, and he is out of the Monaco Grand Prix. And now then, look at this at 5 seconds second moment. Farf is the second back on the soft compound tire. Nigel's on the medium at the moment. And remember, track position around here is absolute king. So yeah, you can't really. And also sets the fast up of the race. He's on the soft compound tire. But yeah, track position is king around here. As we got all sorts going on. It's that's Faxland, isn't it? Back in the pits. He is, and also there's also McVicious in the pits as well. And both McLarens are in the pits. This is not good news for McLaren, is it? So yeah, oh no, they're queuing. This is going to, and they're queuing. So Dave is in and out. He'll be out the pits now in the McLaren. So Gunnar is going to lose all sorts of time. 3-second penalty, and Sam is out. of the race. So unfortunately Sam is out of the race and making his debut then. It's been a difficult debut on it. Grant, he's back up in the 10th now with McVicious 11th, 12th Gunnar, and then we got Jonathan, who is now up in the 30th position. Now McVicious, look at this, they're going wheel to wheel up the hill. Faxan is through, is he? Let's take a look. He is through. Oh, and David's gone in. Oh, McVicious has gone into the wall there. And Faxland's up into 11th now. It's absolutely chaotic. Incredible stuff here. Renzo is now battling like a racer. Remember, we got both these guys in qualifying. Yo, flagging 2. So what's going on then? We're on board Jonathan. Oh my gosh, very close. David has gone off at Mirabeau, and he is out of the race then. Absolutely chaotic scenes here in Monaco. We have lost several drivers already. Emerson sets the fastest up of the race. Farf is third, 4th is Nigel. But look at this, look at this. Starting shifting this going. Oh my gosh, they're going wheel to wheel. Oh, and how? Was there damage there? Wasn't damage? Brilliant stuff. Laggy and Renzo for 6th and 7th. But then we got position Granty 10th, Faxan 11th, 12th is Jonathan, and 13th is Gunnar. Absolutely crazy going on at the moment. Here is the battle for the lead then. Nosey then, at the moment, as we said, Nosey does have the high ground. And look at this. And then Nigel and Silent having a good old battle here for good old battle here at the moment, and this is for 4th and 5th at the moment, and Nigel on the hot compound tyre, so he's going long into this race at the moment. You can see that that's I think that's a Red Bull front wing there, and now as now Laggy, Renzo and Bowden are all starting to really bunch up and have a good old fight here at the moment. The guys at the back are spread out a bit now, so hopefully the chaos will calm down a bit. Absolutely immense so far. And look in the background, there's a red Ferrari. That is Mr. Elite, who's got a free-place penalty there for cutting the chicane there. Of course, you get a lot of penalties. Even though Monaco is like the bars are close to the racetrack, yeah, you can get quite a lot of penalties here at the moment. As you see, then we have DRS now then, but of course I think we had DRS a couple of laps ago, but I've only just noticed it. What about Elite then at the moment? They're a little further apart this time, which is good. Excuse me. And Laggy Racers is on the soft compound tyre, and on the mediums then it is both Renzo and Bowden are at 8th, 7th and 8th for the moment. Wow. Yeah, I have a feeling that the stewards might be very busy after this race. Yeah, the safety car would cause absolute chaos, didn't it? So retirements then after 7 laps then is this Faxland sets the fastest lap of the race. He is back in 10th position now, and he's just got in front of Granty. I'm wondering if Granty let him through there or if it's a bona fide overtake. Well, we'll find out soon. And look at this, Nosey then. Nosey has just got to make sure he keeps the positions of the car in the right place. That's all he needs to do coming into the back now. And out of it then, as you see then, we're keeping on the times behind as well. But this is the battle for the lead here in Monaco then. This is going to get very interesting indeed, isn't it? So at the moment then, so Nosey, Emerson has won in all races he's entered ALR. He has won every single race, so he has got 2 for 2. He's going to get 3 for 3 here. On board with him now, and he's once again there, but of course, Nosey is on the. Oh, look at this! And Emerson, they're going to go side by side up the hill. No way, this ain't going to happen, is it? No, and he is. That's amazing. Emerson is through, and he takes the lead of the Monaco Grand Prix. Absolutely stellar. Oh, he's in the wall. He's in the wall, and Nosey's back through. He damaged his front wing. I think he might have damaged his front wing now. We're back on board. He's going to go on the outside again, is he? No, not quite. As now we come into the hairpin, gets a good shot of the wing. It's fine. So, blimey, how did you do that? That was absolutely mega stuff from Emerson. That was well done. Well done to both drivers. That was phenomenal racing. That was top class. As once again, Nosey is involved in some wheel-to-wheel action, isn't he? Really, he seems to be involved in a lot. Oh, he's got a 3-second penalty that might come back to haunt him later on in the race. Emerson is usually quite a clean driver, isn't he? He was in Spain, wasn't he? No penalties at all, I don't believe. So absolutely fantastic stuff. Back on board with Emerson at the moment in the Haas and car 25. He is that's what 6 tenths of a second looks like in Formula 1. Absolutely nose to tail at the moment. Come through the complete lap at the moment. Nigel and so Nigel in silence is still going on, and look, Laggy Racer then is look at this then, and Farf is in the pits, and so Farf is in the pits. He's damaged his front wing. Farf, this might he's on the soft compound tyres, and he's dropping down the order, and yeah, but there's a big old gap, isn't it, to the Renault, so he'll only be down to 9th, and I think he's trying to. Oh, and look, Renzo's through. Renzo's now up into 5th position. Absolutely great driving from the Irishman. And Laggy is dropped down to 6th at the moment. And he's damaged his front wing. I think he damaged both end plates. He has damaged both end plates. and he is dropping. He's now going to have all sorts of problems now. So Bowden has to get by as quickly as possible because look, Mr. Elite is now on the prow as well. He is also gaining on Mr. Elite driving. Oh no! And they've gone into the back. Bowden's going to the back of that Ferrari. And there's a bit of M-plate coming off. We've still got 30 laps to go in this. And Emerson is alongside Nosey going into the back. And once again, it's very difficult to overtake at the moment, isn't it? But Emerson really finding places where you wouldn't even think about overtaking an F1 car. Fantastic stuff indeed. And they were side by side then coming out of the and then there's Bowden. Then at the moment he's damaged his car there, so it's going to be that's a bit disappointing there from Bowden. Look how much Renzo's gained 3 seconds over. Oh, and now they're side by side, and he's through on the outside. Fantastic! He takes the lead. But look, Nosey don't give it up. Oh, he's going to go silent. How are they going side by side around there? Brilliant stuff. As Emerson now leads the Grand Prix. He has he looks like he does have the pace then over Nosey, and then really absolutely fantastic racing from both these drivers. That is just fantastic. Oh, really looking forward to watching this race back. That was brilliant stuff. Granty is now up into 10th position again. As you can see, we've got a couple of guys in the pits at the moment. So that is the battle for the lead. And look at this, though. And Silent Shifter is now all over the back of Nigel. Very close to the barrier there. Farf is now back up to 7th position. We've got Granty in 8th. 9th is Laggy. 10th is Bowden. Fax is coming out of the pits. Jonathan is in the pits again. And we've got multiple warnings there as well for Silent. But look at this, he's all over the back of him like a bad suit then as he comes into the back then. Nigel's having a very strong race at the moment, isn't he? Nosey is almost out of DRS range already. We're on lap 10 of this Monaco Grand Prix. Oh, and what's happened now to Silent now? He's I wonder, he looked like he had a bit of an issue there. But yeah, so oh my gosh, and he's dropping back there. He's dropping back. What's going on with I wonder if he's just dropping back to sort himself out. And now then, but he's lost a second there, and into the pits is Mr. Elite. So Mr. Elite is in the pits, and he's done 8 laps on those soft compound tires. He is changing his front wing now, Mr. Elite is. So he'll be coming in. Also, Farf is back in as well. Has he damaged his front wing? He has. So Farf is also in the pits as well. So that's a big blow for Farf. And he hasn't done many laps on that at all. Granty is now back up into 6th after all the trials he's been through. He's now back up into 6th position. Granty is. So good stuff from Granty. Elite is coming out the pits, but Laggy's through and up into 7th position, and also Bowden is through as well. So the battle's going to resume. Oh, this is going to be very close, isn't it? Very close indeed. And look at that, as Mr. Elite just behind these guys here. Incredible stuff. Farfer's out in 10th. Fax out in 11th. Gunnar is 12th. And Jonathan is back in the pits then. And I'm not sure what's going on with Jonathan, but look at this then. Emerson now leads. The gap is 2.3 seconds then. Nosey is 2nd. Nigel is 3rd. Silent is dropping off. Has he damaged his front wing? He has damaged his front wing as Silent shifting is. He's in the pits now then. Mr. Elite's got a 3-second penalty. Renzo is now having a great race. He's having the race of his life, Renzo is. He is now up into 4th position. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant stuff from Renzo then. He is driving. He is driving superbly well at this stage of Monaco. And look, there's a McLaren coming out now. I think that was Gunnar coming out. He's got a 3-second penalty for corner cutting. So Silent is in the pits. He should. He's going to get out in front of Granty. That's the question then. So he comes out the pits now. He's on the soft compound tyre. The strategy is all up in the air. He should be out in front of... He will be out in front of Granty. As you can see, look at the long pit exit here. It can be very difficult to get out there. So Silence is still in 5th position. Laggy 6th. Bowden 7th. 8th is Mr. Elite. Then we've got Farf in 10th position. Oh, lovely shot here of the harbour over there. So, wow. Action all over the place at the moment now. So on board then with Mr. Elite. And he's, for one time only, he is driving in Dan Murphy's seat, isn't he? Of course, Dan Murphy is not with us tonight, is he? So Mr. Elite is driving in the Ferrari for one time only. Just having a look at Bowden at the moment. Looks like they kept going close to each other, didn't they? Which is a bit of a worry there. So yeah, that's all lovely shot of the future here. Then this is on board with Mr. Elite at the moment, and Nosey is in the pits. So Nosey is in the pits then, and he's done 11 laps on those soft compound tires. What strategy is he going to go on? Is he going to go on the hard tire now? And the question is how. He's on the medium tire, Nosey is. So Nosey's going on the medium tire. Renzo is up into 3rd position. Renzo is absolutely flying out there at the moment. Brilliant job there from Renzo. Beautiful stuff indeed from the Racing Point driver. On board with Mr. Elite, and he's on the hard compound tire. So is Bowden. Laggy Racer is the second in front. He's on medium compound tire. And very close there. Of course, if anyone knows Formula 1 well, then Fat Clan gets a 3-second penalty. If anyone remembers the 2006 controversy where Michael Schumacher decided to park up there to stop Alonso from getting pole position, unfortunately that didn't work very well, because I think he started 22nd on that day after getting being sent to the back of the grid. And so Nigel doing a very good job at the moment. Of course, he is now 8.6 seconds behind Emerson at the moment. And so that gap is going to be fluctuating up and down there. And Laggy Racer, I think, is starting to struggle on pace again now. And you see in the background is Favre. This is the closest battle on track at the moment. This is where you need to keep your cool in Monaco at the moment. So let's just quickly take stock. Then Faxland is back in the pits. So Faxland is back in the pits. We've got a yellow flag out there in 3. Just taking a look to see what's going on. Nothing too major by the looks. Yeah, let's just quickly take a look at the order then of the Grand Prix. Favre has just got a 3-second penalty. Emerson leads by 8.7 seconds from Nigel, who's second. Third position is Renter flying. Silent Shifting is just at the fast lap race. Remember, we get an extra point for that. So he's doing a great job. He's doing a great job there. Silent Shifting is. Also, Renter's doing an absolutely fantastic job. He's great. He's doing a brilliant job in third position. Faxland has left the session. Hopefully he'll be back soon, but yeah, that's going to be a big shame, because he's doing a great. In qualifying, he was absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, Knowles E4 for him. He's now gaining up to Renter quite quickly. Fifth position is Silent at the moment. Sixth position is Granty. He after all the process is getting very hairy indeed. I'm not sure who's got the lag really, but yeah, it's. There was definitely a bit of Ferrari that come off I think it was off Laggy, to be honest. Favre needs to be careful here. He doesn't want to lose his front wing, and the same with Mr. Elite, and the same with Bowden as well. At the moment, Laggy has got the advantage. Anyway, yeah, 7th, 8th, and 9th, 10th is Favre. It's Racer Bowden, and he's through and up into 7th position on Laggy. They're having a bit of issues there. Silent Shifting is out of the race. We're on board. Where's he gone? Oh, he's gone into Rascas. He's gone off in Rascas there, and that is a shame for Silent there. Silent seems to having a bit of trouble finishing races at the moment. And Silent Shifting is out of the race, so big blow for Silent Shifting. Yeah, he's a proper damage to the car. Bowden is now up into 6th position, 7th position for lead. Favre is up into 8th because Laggy is in the pits then. So Favre is now all over the back of Mr. Elite. I think it's Mr. Elite that's lagging. And look at this then. I thought it would be Laggy Racer. And so as they come up the hill then. So yeah. That's a bit unfortunate, isn't it, for Silent Shifting? He's out of the race. So at the moment, Faxland, if he can rejoin the race, he will be getting into the points there. But I think Gunnar is looking after thinking about some points as well now. Obviously, Jonathan Cox as well. Jonathan Cox has just been lapped by his teammate currently. Yeah, Faxland there is just there. Unfortunately, he's not in the race at the moment, so he will not get any points. So we're now down to 11. Well, 12 cars at the moment. Yellow flag in 3 again. What's going on in 3? Just taking a quick look. Nothing too major by the looks. As you see, them Favre just dropped back from Laggy at the moment. As Ayrton has just said, what an overtake from Emerson. Absolutely fantastic overtake. Emerson had almost had a crack at overtake before as well. So really he's inventing the wheel, isn't he, today? Because he attempted to go by in a couple of positions I've never even seen anyone try to go by. Favre is in the pits then, so he's rolled the dice. Has Favre damaged his front wing? He has, so that's why Favre is back in the pits then. Is he going to get out in front of Laggy? Is the question. He was losing a lot of time behind these guys here at 6th and 7th moment, and Elite is really struggling. And Favre has left the session, so that's a shame for Favre. So I think that that's a big shame for Favre. He is out of the race. Hopefully we'll be able to get back in. Can he get back in and score some points at the moment? But Favre, yeah, he's just going to be ghosting around at the moment. So Laggy will be up to 8. Faxland, so Jonathan now potentially will be getting some points now. He's just keeping at it there. Knowlesy has got by Renzo, so unfortunately we missed that because there was all sorts going on. As on board there with Jonathan at the moment, he is now in 11th position. He's catching on Faxland because Faxland is not in the race and Farfen in the race either. So, oh, Laggy's in the wall, I think. He is in the wall. He's damaged his front wing and he's going to have to come back into the pits. He's only just gone onto the medium compound tire then. And now we're back with Mr. Elite and Bowden here. As they're really fighting quite hard. These two are both on the similar strategies as well. Nigel's not losing too much time to Emerson at the moment, is he? He's I think he's just happy to sit there at the moment. Nigel having a cracking race at the moment. But Emerson though is really has got a yellow flag in two. I think it is a Laggy there just trying to get out of someone's way. Back on board then with Mr. Elite then. So Mr. Elite once again all over the back then of Bowden at the moment. It's been absolute chaos in this race, absolute chaos. But these are one. Remember, but I think oh, is that's a damage on the Ferrari? I think it is. It is damage because it's the end plate that gone off Mr. Elite. How badly is the damage? That's quite bad, isn't it? I think he might need to come back into the pits now. As yeah, it's been very difficult there at the moment. As but Mr. Elite does have a pit stop in front of his teammate Laggy, who is now dropping down the order again. And as wow, as we're on lap 18 then, so as we're almost to half distance, I think we are on half distance now. Then Emerson leads by 9 seconds from Nigel at the moment. Then it's as now Jonathan Cox is now up into 10th position then. So Jonathan is now in the points then. So he is just he's just slowly but surely getting himself back into the points now, and he's doing a good job out there. Jonathan is. Renzo is dropping down. He's in the pits. So Granty is now up into 4th position. Is Granty going to be able to get to the end on the hard compound tire? He's done 14 laps already. I think he might not be able to. Renzo is just coming out of the pits now. He's doing a brilliant job. So Renzo, I think, is he damaged his front wing? I think he has there. So, but I think Renzo shouldn't need to stop again unless he damages the car. So, yeah, Renzo is 5th at the moment. Brilliant drive from Renzo today. Granty is now 21 seconds behind Knowlesley, so in 4th position. No, I don't think Faxland or Farf is coming back, really. So that's a shame for both drivers. Faxland was having a decent debut, isn't it? But unfortunately, it all went wrong quite early on in the opening lap. You know, Laggy's now dropped down to 12th position, but I think that'll become 10th if they can get in front of the two ghost cars of Farf and Faxland, who are 8th and 9th remote. Yeah, so at the moment, Farf and Faxland, unless they rejoin the session, will not score any points in this. Retirement, Silent Shifting. He retired after, he retired in the Rascats, which is unfortunate. So a big blow for Silent Shifted. McFish is out of the race as well. So McFish has had a difficult start to this race anyway, but he is he's now in he's out of the race. We've got Sam making his debut today. Unfortunately, but it didn't go very well for him. Broke Gurlette retired as well, and then Crazy Hitman making a return, then retiring, and also Chaos Lever retiring. So those are the retirements. And they've got Faxon and Farf, who are not technically racing unless they come back in. I suppose it would be a bit cheeky if they come back in on the last lap, wouldn't it? Really? So. But yeah, so at the moment then the strategy still hasn't been completed though, so we still got the look at this, and once again Mr. Lee all over the back of Bowden. Bowden is doing a good job out there at the moment. As Nosey has got a penalty, a 3-second penalty at the moment, and so the penalty is starting to rack up there for Nosey at the moment. Granty is now 23 seconds behind. Emerson is in the pits. He's on the soft compound tyre. Emerson is. So is that that's got to do 19 laps that Soft has. I'm wondering. That's an interesting development there from Emerson, but he's coming out of the pits now, and I'm not sure. I think the sessions it feels a bit laggy, don't it? Really, I'm not sure if it's just one car, so I might have to apologise to Mr. Elite because it might not be just one car. But yeah, so that's an interesting development now. Because so does Emerson be able to get those tires to the end, or is he just trying to go for fast lap then? So this Emerson's going to be quite quick now at this stage of the race. Granty is 21 seconds down the road still. He's on the hard compound tire. We got Renzo who's carrying on at the moment. Bowden, then Mr. Elite, Farf. Faxland. Then we've got Jonathan now. We're on board Jonathan. He is on 8 lap old hard compound tires. And he is just gaining on Faxland. There's Faxland, so he is now going to be promoted to 9th position, which will be an equal 2 points there for Jonathan. And it's been a difficult day, hasn't it, for a lot of these drivers out there, but they're very well done to the ones that remain at the moment. Brilliant stuff. And Nigel is now just trying to lap Farf's ghost car, as Farf unfortunately left the session after coming into the pits. And so at the moment, Nigel is leading this race at the moment. He's got DRS as well from Forrest Ghost Car. So yeah, Nigel leading the race. The question is, what is he going to go on the soft compound, or is he going to go on the hot medium compound? He's got to use 2 types of compounds here, and which tires is he going to use? Jonathan's now up into 9th position. Where can he get from there? He does have the pace, doesn't he? But there's a big old gap between. There's a 44-second gap between himself and Mr. Elite and Bowden. So it's going to be a big ask from there to get any higher than 8th position. But I think Jonathan's one of those drivers that never gives up at the moment. Emerson is now really catching them. So we're going to have another battle between Emerson and Nosey in the battle for 2nd and 3rd. I think. I'm wondering though, is Nosey? I think Nosey might have to make another stop as well, because is those mediums going to get to the end? That's the question, isn't it? Lovely shot here at the moment as coming out of the Steve French chicane, as Nosey is now starting to gain on Nigel. I wonder if Nigel's tyres have come to the end of their life. We got a lot of long stints out there, haven't we, on the hard compound tyres? Granty's done 17 laps on those hard compounds. And we've got 10 in 11 for Bowden and Mr. Elite at the moment. I was going to say Far's done 12 laps on Is someone coming in the pits? Oh, I thought it was Nigel coming in the pits then. Look at this now. Emerson is now under a second. We're on board with Emerson. And you can now see clearly his target, as now Jonathan is up into an 8th position then, so he's making his way back through the field. And look at that, he's 43 seconds. Remember that time? As we're on lap 22. Where is he going to be in about 10 to 15 laps time as we get into the closing stages? As Gunner's in the pits as well, and Laggy Racer is back up into 10th position in the Ferrari then. So Laggy is definitely having a difficult day. A lot of these drivers are having difficult days. I think not one driver is really relaxed as well. Now Emerson, once again we're on board with Emerson. He seems to be he's a very quick driver, isn't he, at the moment? He had an absolutely fantastic overtaking manoeuvre as Ayrton said. Oh, Nosey's got hit the barrier, and Emerson has gone into the wall. Gone into the car, and Nosey, has he damaged his car? I think he has. Nosey clipped the inside there, and Emerson has damaged his car. I wonder, is Nigel going to roll the dice now? Because this is a good opportunity then. Is Nigel going to roll the dice now? No, he isn't. He's staying out. Emerson, is he coming in the pits? He's in the pits. So both these guys are in the pits. There is enough time in their pockets to come in and out. Or is there? I think it should be, because I don't think Garanti's too close enough. But that is a... wow, this is... And Emerson is... I thought he had 19 laps of tyres on there. Noah's in the pits as well, and so both guys, it was both the front runner guys coming into having some difficulties at the moment. Emerson is out of the pits now, so Emerson should be out of the pits. Oh, and Knowlesy there, just jumping out of the pits right behind his teammate. And there's a Ferrari coming through of I think that's Laggy Racer. And look who's in the background there. That is that's Granty, isn't it? That's Granty. So we had a bit of turnout for the books then. 28 seconds the gap is between Nigel and Emerson at the moment. Of course, Nigel still got a pit. Then Emerson has done an extra stop, and oh my gosh, Laggy Racer is now he's now holding up these guys as oh dear. And you can see then look at this, and this is really helping Nosey and Granty at the moment. And there's blue flags out there for Laggy. Laggy needs to. Oh my gosh! I thought he was going to go into the back there, but Emerson then is he's free from traffic, and that Ferrari is also getting out of the way as well. This is where Nosey hit the barrier and spun around there, and it's not a common thing to do. As Laggy Racer there is well, now he gets out of the way of Grant as well. Granty has done 19 laps. Nigel is in the pits, and he's out of the pits now, so he's completed his strategy. Nigel has, and he now accelerates away. Hit the moment. He has got the advantage here in Monaco, and so then Nigel now leads this race. As and he hasn't won a race since I think it was Brazil, wasn't it? I think this last race he won was in Brazil last season. He's got another penalty at the moment, so as you can see then here's the battle then resuming in between the two. And this race is all of a sudden lightened up, hasn't it? But to be honest, so 8 seconds the gap is. You can't put it past Emerson from because he's absolutely flying around here at the moment, isn't he? Gunnar is now up into 11th position, and he is not far away from the points now, is he? So of course we do have 10 cars left. Of course, Faxland and Mr. Elite, and Mr. Elite is by Bowden. So Mr. Elite finally getting by Bowden and is now up into 6th position. Is he now going to pull away? Renzo is 6 seconds down the road from him at the moment. And Renzo is not too far away actually from Grant either, is he? So good driving from Renzo and these guys here. Brilliant stuff. They're quite compact at the front, aren't they? Mr. Elite and then Bowden. We've got Jonathan, who is at 38 seconds back now from 7th position. To be honest, it's a very difficult ask, isn't it? Gunnar is not so far away from the points either at the moment. So, so I think, as you can see, Nosey is really trying to. He's now see Emerson hasn't pulled away as much as I thought he would. He has got the pace over at Nosey, hasn't he? Bowden's got a 5-second penalty for cutting the corner there. That was quite a big cut of the corner as well, if it was 5 seconds. Granty is in the pits then, so what is Granty going to go on then? And he's also he's changed his front wing as well then, so I'm wondering if it's an unscheduled stop, and he's on the medium compound tires, and those are scrubbed medium compound tires, so he's in and out the pits. Where's he going to come out now? Speed in the pits for Bowden, so Bowden is in the pits after 14 laps on those tires. Now as Mr. Elite is now for the 5th position. Great drive from Mr. Elite from the back of the grid. Granty is now in 6th position then, but keep an eye on Granty. He's surely one to watch then in the latter stages of this race here. And so Bowden coming out of the pits now on the soft compound tyre. He is now. I think should I get into the end of the race? Possibly. Well, to be honest though, I think that really though you can't really. You can't really bank on anyone going to the end of the race anymore. As Ayrton has said, he's on the edge of his seat. It's an absolutely fantastic race, isn't it? Nosey is, to be honest, Nosey is really a very unforced error from Nosey there. As he was, but a 3-second penalty there from Mr. Elite at the moment. Very unforced error, unusual error there from Nosey in the Toro Rosso. So he's down the third one, calls the pole here. He's had 2 pole positions in his career. Laggy racer. Oh, he's off it. Anthony Notes there. As he's just trying to. As he damaged his car, I think he did a very good job if he hadn't damaged his car there, because that was a very narrow part of the track. As you can see, we've had an update in Formula 1, haven't we, on the Formula 1 game this season. This week, because now you can see what new liveries on the Haas is on the Haas, on the Ferraris. I think there's new side pods as well on the Alfa Romeo. So Laggy there, dropping down to 10th position then, as I accidentally hit the graphics off. I was wondering why it looked so clear. Gunnar is not far away from Laggy at the moment. Laggy on a very interesting race, isn't he? Mr. Elite is in the pits as well. So Mr. Elite is in the pits, and he's out of the pits now. He's going to be in front of Gunnar. He's going to be in front of Mr. Elite. Bowden. I got there for a time. And Mr. Elite is now up into 6th position now. Well, he's in 6th anyway, but he's made a stop now. Oh, no, did he touch the... Is he damaged? Oh, and he has now, Mr. Elite. And so he's damaged his front wing coming, and Emerson set the fast off the race. Laggy Racer got a 5-second penalty for cutting the corner. So Emerson's really now putting his toe down with 14 laps to go. Mr. Elite and a yellow flag in 2. Just saying, look, see where. I'm wondering who it was. I think it might have. Well, I don't know who it was really. Jonathan Cox is now only 6 seconds behind Bowden and Mr. Elite. And Mr. Elite has damaged his front wing now, so he will not be as quick. So I think that is now all the scheduled stops done and dusted then. So this is now a sprint to the end of the race. A lovely shot, lovely overhead shot here, and you can see that one Ferrari goes up and the other Ferrari is going through to back. And Mr. Elite then, I think he's done a fabulous job, hasn't he? Renzo has got... Oh, Renzo's in the pits! So is Renzo in the pits? I think he's damaged his front wing, has he? That is a shame for Renzo, because I think he was doing a superb job. Car 6, that's a big bit of damage as well. And he's on the hard compound tires now, go to the end of the race as the racing point getting in front in the way of us. So Jonathan Cox is now up into 7th position then. So he's really... I think Jonathan Cox in the second half of the race has been absolutely stellar, hasn't he? He's flying. Now as Renzo comes out of the pits. What a shame for Renzo. He's drove a superb race up until that point. But he's still got... And that's a Haas just trying to get out of the way there. That's Emerson there. And so Laggy Racer is 10th. 11th position is Gunnar. So Nigel's now coming up behind Jonathan Cox at the moment. Jonathan Cox is being lapped. So you can see it's a very difficult place, isn't it, to let lap the front runners through. Jonathan Cox there, feathering the throttle and doing a very good job then. Yellow flag in 2. Why is that? Oh, Mr. Elite's off! Mr. Elite is off the track! And he's got a major problem in that Ferrari. I don't think he's damaged anything else, but that's let Bowden back up in the 5th position. Really flying the flag for Mercedes this week. Doing a good job, Bowden is. And they're very close to the barrier there. Mr. Elite has dropped down to 6 now, and I think that Jonathan would definitely be smelling blood in the water, as Mr. Elite looks like he's limping home at the moment, isn't he? As Mr. Elite is really lagging, isn't he? At the moment, he's got a yellow flying free. Just taking a look to see where that is. I'm not sure where that was. So anyway, no worry. So Bowden's now up into 5th position. He's got on the soft compound tire, so he will be quick. But those soft tires going to get to the end of the race. Renzo is back in the pit, so unfortunately for Renzo, he's having a bit of issues. And then towards the latter stage of the race, and he's got a 5-place grid penalty as well. Laggy is now in 11th position at the moment. Yeah, Renzo is now in the pits, and this is unfortunate for Renzo, isn't it? It's gone slightly wrong, hasn't it? Now he will accelerate now, and he is coming back out of the pits. So Renzo is now only going to get 2 points. Unfortunately, he was doing such a great job, wasn't he? Renzo was, and then it's just kind of, and there's Laggy now. Laggy Racer's going to be through. He is through, and Laggy is up into 9th position. Or is he through? Because Renzo, getting a big, you put on the accelerator there and almost going into the wall. Wow, that was close, wasn't it? Renzo does have fresh tyres now. We're on board with Renzo. The gap at the front is 6.5 seconds. Then we've got Knowlesley, who's 3 seconds back. Granty is almost half a minute down the road. Bowden 5th. Mr. Elite is 6th. Then we've got Jonathan Cox is 7th position. The 8th position is Faxland, but he's not in the race. 9th position is Laggy, and 10th position is Renzo. This is the battle we're looking at now. Gunnar is 10 seconds back in 11th position, and just outside the points at the moment. Farf is out of the race. So Laggy, so Farf and Faxland, not even if they do finish in the top 10, which I don't think Farf will now. They will not get any points. And look at this as Renzo now gaining. Oh, he's done it. And Nolte, he did the same thing as Nolte, didn't he? Because that barrier can surprise you. And he's lost a bit of momentum now, and he's dropped back to a second. He's lost a second there. Renzo has at the moment back on board with the Irishman at the moment. And as you can see, taking a very tight line. That's a beautiful part of the swimming pool there. And he's now all over the back of Laggy Racer. And look at this, he's having a look. He's having a bit of contact there. And Laggy is in the pits then. So Laggy coming into the pits. I wonder if Laggy damaged his car. But Renzo back up in the 9th position then. He is now 7 seconds away from that 8th position. Lap 30 out of 39. 3-second penalty for Jonathan. He's really pushing on at the moment, Jonathan is. Gunnar is up into 10th then on the hard compound tyre, and he is now getting a point for the McLaren team at the moment. Brilliant. So yeah, Laggy is now coming out of the pits now, and he is going to be in the 11th position. So it's going to be quite an effort for Laggy to get any points now. As I think he's had a very difficult race. Nigel leads this race in 5.5 seconds at the moment, in front of Emerson, who is second at the moment. And Nigel is showing signs of why he is the first ever ALR world champion. Absolutely fantastic stuff, isn't it? He's showing a superb race. Remember, he didn't race there last year, did he? So of course he made his debut in the next race in Canada. Wow. So this is absolutely fantastic from Favre at the moment, but he's got to be careful because there's a man hunting him down, and that man is Emerson in the Haas at the moment. He is now 5.5 seconds back. He is just trying to get through the traffic of Jonathan. Same place as where Nigel caught him out there. So basically that's quite equal, isn't it? As Jonathan, I think I've seen a Ferrari. I think that was Laggy Racer. Actually, yeah, that is Laggy Racer. I was just wondering why there was a Ferrari behind Jonathan, because Jonathan is chasing Laggy Racer down for 6th position. So you can see then 4 seconds back is Nosey at the moment. He's in 3rd position. 4.3 seconds back at the moment. Nosey is. But I feel that will he be disappointed with today? I think he did make an unforced error, didn't he, at the seafront chicane? But I feel that Toronto, he is on the podium still, isn't he? And that's his one and only mistake, isn't it? That just shows the level, doesn't it, of ALR at the moment. And Emerson's got a 3-second penalty there, so that might hurt him towards the end of the race, because I don't think Nigel's got any penalties, unless I'm very much mistaken, which I almost certainly am. So yeah, it would be helpful if anyone could let me know if if Nigel's got any penalties or not. Well, I suppose I could just press pause, but then you would miss the action, won't you? As Granty is now 4th, Bowden is 5th, 6th is Mr. Elite. Then we've got Jonathan, who's 7th. I think Jonathan's 20-lap medium compound tyres might have had its best days now. as he is struggling. Renzo's back in the pits, and so Renzo is having a couple of difficulties into the front. This is such a... Renzo was having... The first half of this race was absolutely phenomenal stuff from Renzo, but yeah, he's unfortunately it's all come apart in the final stages of this race, and he's now on the soft compound tyre. He's fixing his front wing. Gunnar is now going to be up into 9th position. There he is. Gunnar is now up into 9th. And really driving a good race, isn't he? Very consistent. Gunnar is in the McLaren. Renzo coming out in 11th position, and there is a Ferrari, but I think that was the other Ferrari. That's an Alfa Romeo behind as well, and that is Nigel there, who's now got Renzo just in front of him. And Renzo's still in the points at the moment. So out of the top 10 at the moment, only Faxland will be the man who won't score any points. So because he is not in his car, unfortunately. And really just shows where Faxland was before he unfortunately left the session. So he would, I reckon, that Faxland would be right up there, right in the area around his teammate Granty, because Faxland really did show some really good pace, didn't he? And you can see now the 6th position is about to get lapped. So that's to be honest, is it the pace of the front runners, or I think it's more of the chaos behind, really, isn't it? Nigel, I think, has done it. I think starting on the hard compound tyre really did did some good stuff there, hasn't it, for Nigel? But yeah, I think, but maybe the incident between Emerson and Knowles probably was more like the issue than it helped propel Nigel up into. We got some debris out on track as well. There's Mr. Elite struggling out there at the moment, isn't he? As getting on the way, very nicely done there from Mr. Elite. Very nice indeed, but Renzo is now all over the back of Mr. Elite. This is not a battle for position, but Renzo would like to go through. He's going to have a go. Oh no, and I think they made contact there. Renzo was just trying to lap himself there. I don't think there's any damage though, so yeah, it should be all right. But yeah, Renzo had a bit of a late lunge there from Renzo. There is he got into a sand of water at the moment, but. It's been a very tough old day, hasn't it, for a lot of these drivers today? They're really earning their keep, haven't they, in this Monaco circuit. As the rain is coming down quite heavy out there. Oh, excellent. So yeah, as on board with Emerson now, we're coming to the final 5 laps then of this Monaco race. There's on board with Emerson, who's currently 4th at the moment. Remember his ALR career so far: 2 starts, 2 victories. Fantastic. Of course, he hasn't in that pole position. Still eludes him at the moment, doesn't he? He's a bit like Max Verstappen in terms of his. He's getting a lot of race wins, but he touched the wall there, only slightly though. That might have been very nicely judged there from Emerson there. And you can see then we're on board with him and just enjoying this, and he's attacking the track, isn't he? He needs to yellow flag up in front of us, and I think and Elite's got in the wall there as Emerson has gone through, but Elite, I think it's damaged the other part of his end plate now, and there's a McLaren just in front of us at the moment of Gunnar, who is in a 10th position. I think that Gunnar was the man who caused that yellow flag out there at the moment. A lot of incidents and action packs in this Monaco racing. Gunnar doing a good job actually to get out of the way. I'll tell you what, these back markers in the to be honest, the guys that are being lapped here today have done a really good job actually getting out of the way majority of the time. It's very difficult to get out of the way here in Monaco. Of course, it's one of the most tightest tracks on the calendar. I remember from one street circuit to another. We go to Canada next week, and Canada, of course, is the one of the more action-packed races of the year, isn't it, Canada? So we're looking forward to that. Remember last year, there was all sorts of controversy, wasn't it, in Canada? It was, of course, of course, we had I think it was Jacob making his debut, and he got taken out quite badly there. I think it was from Vesley, wasn't it? And it was a nasty old accident there in Canada, which gave Nigel his first victory, and the first of many as well, wasn't it, on his way to the crown. And you can see that Emerson is now getting under 4.1 seconds at the moment. And I'm wondering if he'll be feeling that this race had got away from him a bit, because he was just at the wrong place at the wrong time, maybe. Or he might just be happy with the might be happy with just finishing, really. Gunnar's got a 3-second penalty there out there at the moment. That might cost him a point at the moment, because that's Laggy Racer is only 3/10 behind him if you include the penalty. So it's getting very tight there, isn't it? So apart from that, then I think that is the closest battle on track at the moment is Laggy and Laggy and Gunnar. And we just joined Laggy now then, as he's coming down at Mirabel then, and you see just in front is Gunnar there. So that's what a 3-second gap looks like when you're looking above from the Monaco buildings here. Brilliant, that's a brilliant camera angle. I love that one. Anyway, coming out of Portier now and into the tunnel, and you see Laggy there is still outside the points. Unfortunately, he ain't gonna get a point for his efforts at this stage of the race, so he needs to get by Gunnar. So I think Faxland is kind of out of reach now. Of course, usually the AI are quite. Usually that just shows how far in front Faxland was when he retired. It's a shame really. Shame he left the session really, because he would have got some points. Same with Farf as well, the championship leader. As it stands at the moment, Farf will still remain in the championship lead, but only by 3 points from Granty. So I don't even take into account Emerson's points. So Emerson will be on 68. So yeah. So at the moment, that's how it stands. We've still got 3 more laps to go, but Farf will still be in the championship. Only just then. Of course, he had a great start to the year, isn't he? He was 2 out of 2, and then it's really started to unfold slightly for Farf from the last couple of races, hasn't it? So I think he needs a strong result in Canada, doesn't he? Farf does. Because Granty is really starting to really pile on the pressure. I'm surprised that Granty hasn't actually got a win yet in ALR, which is quite a surprising start. It's the same. It's a surprising start about Knowles as well, because both drivers are really quick. So that's really surprising me at the moment. As just on board Laggy, then he's now 2.5 seconds behind Gunnar. There is Gunnar in the foreground in the McLaren. So as you can see then, as Gunnar's on 14-lap hard tyres, Laggy's on medium, and incredible good car control from Laggy to keep it out the wall there. Fantastic stuff. But he's really got the bit between his teeth on Gunnar, hasn't he? Gunnar has got issues. Oh, he's in the pits. So that's why Gunnar is now in the pits, and Laggy is back into 10th position. This is an epic battle for the final point, isn't it? Brilliant. So Gunnar is in the pits, and so I thought I got a bit worried then, because I thought I was nosy, and I thought he had a puncture. Anyway, it says that Gunnar is in the pits. He's coming out of the pits now, and he's on the medium compound tyre now hopefully to the end of the race. We're just watching Nigel then coming in the tunnel then. So there is a Mercedes. There's a Mercedes just lapping one of the racing points behind there. And Jonathan Cox is only 3 seconds back from Mr. Elite then, with just 2 laps to go. Is he going to be able to pinch 6th position away? Remember, it's also about the all about the penalties as well. On board with Nigel then into the swimming pool then. This is a great return form then so far. Nigel's stats are that he's only in the 2 races. He's only had 1 DNF in his ALR career, and he's only been off the podium twice, and that's actually the 2 races in Baku and Spain, the last 2 races. But this is a really good return to form, isn't it, from Nigel? Really, he just kept out of trouble today. It's all about keeping out of trouble in this race, and he's done a fantastic job as we're on the final lap of the Monaco Grand Prix. As unfortunately Emerson and Nosey come together at the chicane now. And really, that might have cost Emerson the win here today, but still, fantastic driving all up and down the field. And Jonathan Cox is really starting to hound Mr. Elite as the battle for 6th position. Jonathan Cox has done 27 laps on these hard compound tyres. That is a phenomenal amount of mileage for those tyres. Obviously, he's paying for his, and he doesn't want to use them. Absolutely fantastic stuff. So Nigel then into the tunnel. We're going to ride on board with the leader as we come into the final stages of the Monaco Grand Prix. Well, it is the final stage as Nigel accelerating away now. Then you can see in the background there is Emerson in the Haas as Nigel then drove a superb job. He basically was there to pick up the pieces when Emerson and Nosey come together. But an absolute great fight between Emerson and Nosey. And there's a 3-second penalty for Mr. Lee. I wonder if that might cost him 6th position. But Nigel comes around the final corner and he returns to form in fine style in Monaco, and he wins the Monaco Grand Prix. Fantastic from Nigel. Emerson is second in the end. He had a lot of penalties. Well, he had a few penalties, Emerson did. But great. Will he be disappointed? That'll be the first time that Emerson hasn't won a race. But he's on the podium. Nosey in 3rd position. Granty is coming through in 4th. So, but he will finish 4th now because Bowden is in 5th position. 6th position, Jonathan. So he got in front of Mr. Elite in the end. So great drive from Jonathan to get himself back up to 6th position. 7th position for Mr. Elite. And 9th position for Renzo. And 10th position for Laggy. Gunnar coming through to finish 11th then. And as And now here we go then, and Granty finishes in 4th position. This as it stands at the moment then. Just watching Gunnar come across. As it stands at the moment then, still leading the championship is Farf, but only by 3 points as it is getting very nail-bitingly close then. Absolutely fantastic. So that was a chaotic Monaco Grand Prix, wasn't it? I'd be surprised if anyone kept up with any of that then. And you see Nigel then. That is an absolutely fantastic race for Nigel, and that is Nigel's 6th win of his career, and now he is the most successful driver in ALR history. Fantastic stuff for Nigel. What a stat that is. Brilliant stuff from Nigel, and he is loving it. Emerson's first time in ALR that he didn't win a race. So, but maybe he could have and should have won this race if he didn't get involved in Knowlesy's mistake. But yeah, that's what racing is, isn't it, really? And Knowlesy finished an expert and a good 3rd position in, but he was on pole position. I wonder if he might be disappointed with that. And I'm not disappointed with that. I get some XP. Excellent stuff. Anyway, then let's just take a quick look. Nigel didn't get any penalties either. That is fantastic driving. And same with Granty. Brilliant stuff. So Nigel from 3rd on the grid to win the race. Emerson finished 2nd in the end. 3rd position was Knowlesy. Granty 4th. A great, good driver from Granty there. To get no penalties there. Brilliant. So Bowden in 5th position. A great drive from Bowden. 6th position for Jonathan. And absolutely a good drive from Jonathan there. Mr. Elite from 18th on the grid to 7th. I think that was a phenomenal drive from Mr. Elite. Faxon is 8th, but he would not get any points. Renzo 9th and Laggy in 10th position. And 18 pit stops there for Farf. So yeah, I'm wondering what happened with his AI then. Gunnar just outside the points in 11th position in the end, and that is our classification for the Monaco Grand Prix. Absolutely fantastic, and I think we got a very happy driver that's just joined us in the comms box at the moment. Nigel, you're now the most successful driver in ALR history. Congratulations, 6 wins. But not only that, you've returned to form as well. What a race! Absolutely fantastic stuff. You were on the alternative strategy. Was you feeling confident about your strategy compared to what Knowlesy and Emerson was doing?
I was not especially, but yeah, I was just going and going, and I thought, okay, maybe I think we can go.
Excellent stuff. That was a well-deserved drive as well, because you had no penalties there, so that was absolute position. So well done, Nigel. And yeah, so now that win as well. I'm not sure where that my math is terrible, but that will propel you right back in the championship hunt if my math's incorrect. So what is and you're going on to Canada where you won last year. How are you feeling about that?
Just hoping to do the same.
Excellent stuff. I like to keep it simple. Brilliant. Emerson finished 2nd at the end. Really, this is the first time in an ALR race where you didn't win a race. But yeah, how are you feeling about that? Are you disappointed with that race, or are you happy with 2nd?
No, 2nd's still decent, but yeah, obviously I wasn't far off 1st, and there was a few incidents, but obviously Knowlesy crashed just after the tunnel, and then I was so close behind him that obviously I hit into the back of him as he spun round, and we both had damage. But yeah, we were both on sort of different strategies. I wasn't sure which way to go, but yeah, I think I should have stuck with the 1-stop, and I might have ended up getting the win. But yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting strategy, because I thought he was going for the 1, then he stuck on the soft tyres there. Do you think that, by the sounds of it, you rather have stuck to the 1-stop and gone hard? Is that right?
Well, me and Knowlesy were just speaking a minute ago, and I did think that he was going to go from the softs to the mediums, and he was going to do a 1-stop that way. And I was tempted to go from the mediums to the softs and do it that way. But then I thought he was 2-stopping, so I tried to copy his strategy, and then obviously we both had that incident, and then we both ended up doing an extra stop anyway.
So going on to Canada then, the next round then, are you hoping to get your first pole position? That's the only thing that's eluding you at the moment.
Oh yeah, I'm almost like the Max Verstappen in a way, aren't I? Just can't get it.
Now, that's what I said in the race, actually. I said you're a bit like Verstappen at the moment. You can get the race wins, but the pole position seems to elude you. But yeah, congratulations on your 2nd position, and you seem quite happy with that. And that has propelled you right into the heart of the championship now. So yeah, it's looking good for you still. Well done. Nosey, you was on pole position. That's your second pole position of your career, but third in the end. How was that for you?
Absolutely wonderful.
I can hear in your voice. In the mistake, unfortunately, we did catch the mistake on the stream there, where it looks like your rear wheel just clipped the barrier going into the seafront chicane. A bit disappointed in that, but what can I say?
First of all, I was going to say, did you catch the other mistakes? Because there's plenty of them. I was just couldn't put the race together today. I would take third place.
So, to be honest, that's a bit of a warning for the other drivers then. If you feel like you could have achieved better, for a position that too bad right at the end of it. And question to both.
Most of the race I was driving around with damaged wing anyway. So that's Monaco for you.
Well, unfortunately, Nosey, I got to raise this wonderful overtaking maneuver that Emerson did on you. Absolutely fantastic. There was there was two moments where you two were side by side going into Casino Square through Sandoval up into Casino Square. Fantastic. Emerson, tell us about that. That was amazing.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know how I had that much room. I thought we were going to crash. It was so close.
It really was. And Nosey, was that where you had the front wing? Which is because I have a feeling where you had the front wing damage, because that's probably why you were struggling with turning bit, because he was on board with you, I think, and you had a lot of lock on and it was a lot of understeer. Was that the moment where you had the wing damage?
No, I don't think it was actually.
Wasn't it?
I remember that move. It was just like I want to back out of it really desperately, but I don't want to lose position at the same time. So I thought, I'm just going to stick here on the inside and hope for the best. And I think Emerson took a bit of damage turning into the right after the Casino Square, and then I jumped back through. But I think I don't know where I got the damage to start with. I had damage to start with at some point on the first stint, I think, and then replaced the front wing, and then got damage again after that, and just could be wild to replace it after that. So too much damage today.
Commiserations, but there's always Montreal next week, a proper racetrack. Next up is Granty, an absolutely good race from Granty, especially after lap 1 where it just seemed to all fall apart, and you're now only 3 points behind Farf in the championship. So a good day overall.
Yeah, it was a good day, to be honest with you. It was a bit of an incident in the safety car situation. It was just where everybody started really close anyways, and the car behind me just like rammed me into the car in front, and it gave me wing damage. So I had to go to the pits again. But and then in the end, I just kept going around with the wing damage and just hope for the best and what position I get out of it, and got fourth, and yeah, just kept sort of the pace. I mean, I saw Nosey having so many penalties, and then I thought, I really want to try and push for it now and just not make any mistakes, but I just wasn't close enough. So yeah, I'll take fourth.
I think you're very happy for that, because I think you pitted once, and then unfortunately, as you said, there was all sorts going on beyond the safety car. Could you explain what happened there? Because I must admit, I was struggling to follow it all. There was all sorts going on.
Well, I mean, like where I was, obviously, I was at the back, and yeah, I think it was one of the Mercedes. I think he was just going a bit too fast for the safety car, and I don't know. I had to brake, and then the guy behind didn't know, and he just slammed me, man. I mean, it's a very tight track, anyways, and trying to keep a slow pace and everybody else in front of the other, and whatnot. It was a bit unfortunate that I got the wing damage, but I mean, he sort of span out and done himself in, but he kept going after that as well. Yeah, no, that was I don't know what the safety car was all about. I'm very confused of that one, to be honest.
I was quite surprised when the safety car came out. It took me a while to realise it was out. So anyway, Canada next week. How you're at the moment? You haven't got a win, which I'm really surprised about. But you're second in the championship. Your consistency is really paying off. Do you reckon Canada's where you're going to break your duct?
I hope so. I need to do some practice on that, to be honest. I haven't even touched Canada this game, so yeah, this should be a lot of fun.
Excellent stuff. Well done, Granty. I think who else joined? Because I must admit, I was looking down. I think Laggy's in here. Laggy. It seemed like a difficult day out there for you today. Talk us about your race.
I had a fantastic start, but then my pace dropped, and sometimes I just hit the wall a little tap, and then I got front wing damage, and then I got even more. So
Was my race very much.
Is it? Do you usually find this track difficult? Do you, or is it? Was it? Did you just couldn't get in the zone today?
the track is just difficult. Just keeping your concentration not to crash or anything, or make contact with anyone.
But you still got a point today, so that's all that matters. So well done to you, and well done to finishing as well. Well, thank you for joining us tonight in what's been an absolutely incredible Monaco Grand Prix. Nigel is back on top of the step of the podium. We got Emerson, who is going to be hungry to get back on top of the podium as well. And Grant is now only 3 points behind Farf after Farf having another difficult day. But join us in a week's time where he'll be in Canada, one of the best racetracks in the world. It is absolutely great. So yeah, after last year's race, where is action packed and everything, where Nigel made his debut and won the race as well. But can he do it again, or will one of the new guys come up in spoil his afternoon? But from then, it's goodbye.